duty. Welcome to it. Zeke's driving. Where are we going, Zeke? Where are you taking us? I guess we're just doing the dance. Okay. He's just dancing.
I was just dancing.
He's just vibing. He's just over there vibing. You're in a vibe-free zone, man. You can do whatever you want. You know?
Yep. Sorry, I got hooked on it this weekend.
Hooked on it?
Yep. I got re-hooked up on some Just Dance.
On Just Dance. Oh.
Yep.
Did you know there's lore to that game? Like actual in-game like story lore? Did you know that?
Someone was saying that during the stream, like during the hour that I did Just Dance, like someone was saying that and I'm like, you're fucking with me. And now you're saying it, so I'm like,
no, there's actually
there's also lore in PUBG, so I mean, what is the lore in Just Dance?
I don't know the lore. I know that Little Siha was talking about the lore. About different about main characters and ulterior characters and the dance. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just asking. Maybe you knew, but I guess not.
I did not. No. I thought people were just messing with me, honestly.
Hold on. We're getting some hot. Someone apparently got stood up during a wedding, and that's part of the Just Dance lore.
Oh. Okay.
So, and it's the love story. I don't know.
Okay.
You got to do a deep dive into that, Zeke.
No,
don't. Yeah.
We'll do.
I'm on it. Full report for next week's show. Top of the show, we'll get the Just Dance lore. It'll be great.
Sounds good.
And Cohh will have to help you research. I'm giving you both homework. Cohh's going to do a full stream tomorrow of Just Dance. He's got to play through all of the games. How many songs are there in Just Dance? That's actually a good question. How many Just Dance songs are there?
Like in Toto? Like throughout all of the games?
Boy. In 2022, there's 700 playable tracks. In 2021, there's 400.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's a lot of songs. Anyways.
Good Lord.
This week's sponsor is Ubisoft. Thanks to our favorite Montrealians.
I made it through. I don't remember exactly how many I did, but I think I made it through like 6, maybe 5, something like that.
Yeah.
Of those, and I'm working my way through all of them.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yep. 1 hour at a time, every 10 years.
Almost there.
That's why I did it. That's why I did it in the first place, was because of the 10-year thing. And I used to do this thing for I don't know how long it was. It wasn't that long, but it was like for a little bit I did Fatterday.
Yeah.
Which was me just like doing an hour's worth of exercising and to different stuff, mostly Richard Simmons, sweating to the oldies. I went through his. I don't know if it was the entire library of Sweating Through the Oldies, but I went through quite a few of the Sweating Through the Oldies DVDs.
You sweated through the majority of the oldies.
Yeah, I did.
Well, are you bringing it back, or is it going to be a 1 through 10 year? Okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
I am not.
All right.
Well, it breaks up the day so badly. Like, it's like you do your little workout at the beginning, and then you got to go take a half an hour break.
That's the issue.
Shower and that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing that.
I guess you would have to do it at the end of the stream for it to make logical sense.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And at the end of the stream, goddamn, that's the last thing I want to do is more physical activity because, like, it's not like. God, it's hard to explain what streaming is. Streaming is you're entertaining for multiple hours, and you have to be like on, right? And it's just that is exhausting.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Someone was getting bullshit. Wasn't it like Hassan was getting like shit on for like having a social battery?
Yeah. It was the social battery thing. Yeah, you're gonna get us canceled now. Now we're gonna get thrown into the fucking miasma of Twitter, Zeke. Why would you do this?
Like, picture yourself at a fucking, like, someone put it this way, like, picture that you have to give a presentation at work, but that's every day for, 6 to 8 hours a day. Like that's your day. Is every day is you have to give a presentation.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It's exhausting. And
Yeah,
that's the last thing I want to do at the end of the day is fucking exercise. I want to go eat and lay down.
That whole thing was interesting because I feel like Hassan put that comment out and every streamer was like, yeah, he's right. Yeah. And then they saw what happened and like, I don't have a comment. I'm not going to agree or disagree with any of this information. In fact, I do not know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then everyone messaged their streamer friends and like, God damn, he's right. Like the social battery shit, it is Drake. Like,
yeah, it is. No, for real, it is. Yeah, but it's you know,
yeah.
I've done both. I've done manual labor. Like my dad owned a construction company, and I worked for him during the summers. So I would do like unskilled labor is what they call it, like just picking up garbage and shingles and stuff like that from a construction site and putting them in a dumpster for 8 hours. Just to, do that. I've done that. I've been a dishwasher. I've been Chuck E. Cheese. Like I've done all kinds of different
jobs. Were you
jobs.
the rat at Chuck E. Cheese?
You fucking bet I was. Absolutely. That was my favorite job other than Twitch.
Oh,
not kidding.
Man. Yeah.
I made pizzas and danced around in a mouse costume for kids. It was great.
That's great.
I loved it.
Welcome back, Cohh. What are we talking? Cohh, what do you think we're talking about? Where do you think this conversation
Zeke working at Chuck E. Cheese?
God damn it. He's got it. He's got ears everywhere. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that what? Okay, good.
Yeah, that was my very first job.
When he said I dressed up and danced around for small children, that was my first guess.
Okay,
was Chuck
really?
E. Cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. I would have. Sure. Okay. Glad your mind went there.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's been going on? Cohh, how's life with 3 kids? It seems as hectic as always.
Yep, I have canceled my evening stream. If that tells you how it's going. So, evening stream is on hiatus for a bit as we do all the other stuff that we do. But it's been good. Things have been actually chilling out a little bit, which is great.
That's good.
And I'm actually. It's been like 5 years now that I've been doing the morning, afternoon, and evening streams pretty much every day.
No, it hasn't been 5 years. Holy shit!
I started right before COVID, right at the beginning of COVID. Yep. So,
God,
yeah, time to chill out a little bit and do evening stuff. So, but no, it's been good. Very busy, but very good. Finally, taking some deep breaths, which I've been needing to do for a while.
Yeah. I've always looked.
I've made it. I made it through the entire Fallout show.
I heard you were watching some stuff. Yeah.
Yep. That was I'm like 2 episodes away from 3 Body Problem. I actually got through the 2nd season of Witcher, so I'm like catching up.
Is 3 Body Problem good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Surprisingly,
I haven't started it yet.
It's very unique.
Yeah.
Which is fun. So I don't want to talk like I feel the best way to watch 3 Body Problem is how I did, and that is going in with zero idea what's going on.
Okay.
There's a few like keywords people can tell you that will immediately start making you think of things, and don't look anywhere. Just go watch it. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Don't make the same mistake I did and Google it, because the first result is coming.
Do not. No.
3 body probing, and you don't want that one. That's not the videos you want.
That's not the right one.
Okay.
Unless it's the videos you want, which is, I think you understand what I'm saying.
They have seasons of that. There's full seasons of the 3 body probing out there that you can. Oh wow. Okay. All right.
Yes, they're in the middle. Well, no, they're in the middle of their first season.
Oh,
and not sure if it's going to get picked up for a second one.
Well, we'll see.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of demand.
They're still investigating. Yeah, they're still out there investigating. Still shopping around.
A lot of demand.
Still shopping around. We can talk Fallout, the show, since it kind of is a bunch of ancillary news stories around it. Zeke, have you finished it? I know Cohh finished it. I finished it. Zeke, okay. We could maybe go into a proper spoiler thing if you want to. But let's talk non-spoilers first, and then maybe we'll do spoiler conversation. Just in general, I don't think this is a hot take, but I'm in camp. This is the best Fallout thing that's existed. That's where my brain goes to, because I've never been a big game.
You're not a big Fallout fan.
I'm not a big Fallout game.
That makes a lot of sense.
I've enjoyed the world of Fallout from afar, but I've never played or enjoyed the games. It's just not my vibe. But now the fact that like that IP, that world exists in a format which I'm super into in the show, it's great. Like I want more of that shit, man. It's super fascinating. I don't know who had how much of like the writing of that show was Nolan, and how much of that show was like Bethesda writers, or like what the split there was. But I loved everything that they did in terms of all the different nods to the game, all the different they like, you know how when someone in a video game movie, they like do something. It's like, you remember in Doom with The Rock, and they did the first person thing in that, and it was like they were like beating you over the head with a fucking 500-pound hammer. They're like, oh my god,
this is a video game. This is a video game.
We're first person. In the Fallout show, there's so many video game references that if you just hear them, you just think it's a normal line of dialogue or a normal action sequence. But having like played or been around those games for 10 years, there's so many of those like small little Easter eggs that just, it's so much fun just to watch that.
And your example actually brought up, I think, a really, really good thing that the Fallout show did that I was very concerned it was going to do, but actually, let me start over at the beginning.
Okay.
I was very worried that the Fallout show was going to do what you just said about Doom for Fallout. And what I was worried they were going to do was they were going to treat the game as the subject matter instead of the world lore.
Sure.
And see, the thing is when you're making a show, you need to do it like Dark Souls, where your game is the world lore, but then the show is its own awesome standalone thing. Because if you make the show too dependent on the lore, then that's when the show starts losing integrity. It starts only being for the fans instead of like people that just like good television. So that's the thing for me that 100% sold me on Fallout, was because at the end of the first episode, I was like, I would have liked that if it had nothing to do with Fallout. Like, those are good actors acting well with solid dialogue that was entertaining. And the fact that it was in the Fallout universe just made it, for me, 10 times better.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like a good example of the opposite is Witcher, where Witcher relies on its subject matter to be what it does. And it tried to make its own stuff, and it all sucked. So it's like, because it tried to do it in like it tried to follow the confines too much, but then it tried to break out. But when it broke out, it didn't make sense. So it was like, it all just fell apart. Yeah. So with the Fallout show, I was so pleasantly surprised with it. Like it felt so much like Fallout. There were so many things that they did in that show that if you were not a Fallout fan would mean nothing. Like literally it was just like a camera panning over something or an object being in the back of a scene. Where it's like, if you were watching this and you weren't a Fallout fan, it would mean nothing. But if you knew Fallout, you're like, oh, it's that thing. Oh, it's that. Oh, he said that. And it's like, and that was just great. I loved that about it. So
yeah,
it was, it's a great show. I love the ending, and I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah,
the only
season
thing
2
I didn't
got
like
confirmed. Yeah, so there will be a next.
The
one.
only thing I don't like about it is the same thing I don't like about every Fallout game.
What's that?
And that is their interpretation of the Brotherhood of Steel. But you know what? That's a lore thing, and we'll talk about that another time.
I kind of want to talk about that now. Do we need to put up spoilers for that?
Yeah.
Well, the reason that I can't talk about this with you,
is it'll spoil potential future?
No, because it's specifically related to a lot of the stuff in the first Fallout 1 and 2 games.
Oh, okay.
So if you're not a fan of like that lore, like the thing is here, okay, I will give you the TLDR. Brotherhood of Steel started as one thing in the first and second Fallouts.
Yeah.
And it became something else in Fallout 3 and 4 and the show.
Like as an entity, their goal shifted or something? Is that what you're trying to say?
What Fallout is and what the Brotherhood of Steel is in relation to Fallout has changed over time.
Okay.
And I like the interpretation. Fallout, the Brotherhood of Steel started more as like this kind of like heroic organization that had problems, but they're kind of like somewhat good, and they kind of have this more zealotous, we're doing this to protect everyone thing. And if you play Fallout 1 and 2 and do all the Brotherhood of Steel stuff, and I'm not saying they didn't have problems, they always had problems, but in the later Fallouts, the Brotherhood of Steel started getting used as the story's mechanisms for, massive issues. Like Fallout 4 is a perfect example. Like what they did to the Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 4 makes zero sense. Like the Brotherhood of Steel not wanting to use synthetics or control synthetics and things of that nature. Like it goes against like everything that they stand for in the first two games. So it's this weird, like, the short of it is I don't like what they've done to the Brotherhood of Steel over time, because they meant one thing, and now Bethesda and the show is just using them for something else, and it doesn't. Even 76 didn't do it super well. So
are they trying to show the like passage of time and how the wasteland like corrupts anything regardless of its like initial nature, or is it just a straight up storyline shift?
They absolutely could. I mean, there's all sorts of story reasons it could have went the way it did. And I think a lot of what happened to the Brotherhood of Steel, you could argue, is like, nothing survives the Fallout world, which I think is what they're doing, really. But again, going to in 1 and 2, they had such a foundation for something incredible to happen, and they don't really historically talk about like what happened to that. It's just all of a sudden in the later ones and in later timelines, they just kind of appear back on the scene, and they have all of these issues they didn't have before. It's this, that's all it really is. There's like a break in the timeline somewhere where what they are changes, and it's never really talked about or explained. And there is some leadership shifting, but not to the degree where it would matter for these story changes. And but at this point, we're just talking about like spaghetti lore between games, So
sure. Yeah.
It's very opinion oriented and very what people want to see from the games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Obviously no right answer.
Yeah. I mean, it's all connected in one way or the other, regardless of if it's a woven thread or spaghetti.
Casual Robot in chat says it's a majorly unexplained tonal shift. And yes, that is a good way to say it. There throughout the Fallout lore, there is this tonal shift where like the possible saviors of the wasteland become like arguably one of its biggest enemies. And it's just a little weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, and please don't spoil the show. We're talking a little bit about.
Yeah, we're not spoiling show.
We're not spoiling the show at this point.
In fact, I don't even know if we need to get into. I've been thinking about like a spoiler conversation. I don't know if there's anything that we would add to the conversation that we haven't already discussed without just straight up spoilering the show. So I think we might just skip out on that. But we're all like very much in agreement that it's great. It's so good that it's actually made Fallout 76 relevant again. That's how good the show is. Is that people are like, we should probably play this Fallout 76 thing. And I'm like, well, okay, sure.
No, it's weird, like having people come into your chat and go like, hey, are you going to check out Fallout 76? I'm like, fucking what?
It's a weird thing. The game,
like, I've never had a desire. I think I played it for like an hour with Cohh.
We played it together, on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It is nowhere near what it was at launch, 100%. And we've talked about that ad nauseum with both Cohh and Gathalion and what they've done with all that. But like, I re-downloaded Fallout 76. Gassy Mexican, friend of mine in front of the show, has been playing a bunch, and I was like, sure, let's see what it is.
Let's see how it is, yeah.
I load up the game. My FPS is immediately capped at 45 FPS, and I'm like, okay, I guess let me close this down and go change the INI file. That's fine. I'll just go into the NVIDIA settings and like cap the FPS at like 240. Great. Okay, let's boot the game back up. Oh, okay, this feels so much better. The world looks all right. I've got a good. Let's go enter this building right here. And I enter into the building, and I look around, and then I'm like, W. My character's not moving. I'm like, well, did my keyboard die? Like, what? Why can't I move? I'm going to go back outside and re-enter the building. Maybe it's just maybe I got like the 1 in 1 billion bug. Load outside, load back in. Nope. apparently if your FPS is too high in the creation engine, and this is a very long-standing bug, it actually makes it so you can't like move indoors. It won't actually
just indoors though. Okay.
Yeah. And that was where I was just like, I'm good. Like, I don't want to fight this bullshit. And that's where I alt F4'd and uninstalled like 120 gigs of Fallout 76. But yeah, that's a me thing.
Beef wagon, is it?
Yeah, it's a big game. They've added a lot to that. But that's a me thing. That most people won't run into that issue. I would assume, but yeah, that was my let's rediscover the Fallout franchise, hitting a very quick, massive stone wall. But it's happening across like everything. I think I saw a stat that like Fallout 4 has had like 700% more people playing it or like downloading it or checking it out or sales or something like that.
It had over 60,000 players.
Fallout 76 did, or Fallout 4?
Mm-hmm. 76.
The 76, okay. Yeah, I know Fallout 4 hit 100,000 or something like that, right?
Wow. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of what happens when you put out media around a video game, and then people going, hey, they want to play more. They want to check it out more. 270,000 across Fallout games on Steam. That's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I think Cohh's comment that I saw on Twitter kind of encapsulates everyone's opinion that is a Fallout fan already and has played all the games. Is like, man, I really want to play Fallout 5. I want another Fallout game.
In 10 years.
You got a ways, right?
Can't wait.
Yeah, because they're doing Elder Scrolls first, right? They've already said, okay, that Elder Scrolls
they're doing Elder Scrolls first, and they haven't even like started talking about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it's going to be, and there's going to be years of them talking about it. So
yeah,
we've got a little wait.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Zeke, I know you watched it. Are you in the same place me and Cohh are in? Just like great. It was great TV, easy binge.
Easy binge, yes. Was it like, I don't know, like, did I love it? No, I wasn't in love with it.
Really?
I fell short of love for this one. It just like, some of the, and it's honestly due to just like personal taste. Like I didn't like some of the characters. Like I didn't like their acting or their writing or whatever. You know, just shit like that. I mean, of course, Goggins is fucking
his best character.
Is stellar. Yeah. He's great in everything. Like seriously, like someone on Twitter put it exactly right. Like I've been tooting that Goggins horn for a long time, and now y'all are seeing it. And like I felt the same way. I'm like, that dude is fucking awesome in everything he does. He puts his like fucking heart and soul in that shit, and he's great. If you don't think so, watch Predators. That shit was awesome. He's like the most memorable character in that fucking show. It was great.
Yeah.
But the show itself, like, there was just a bunch of moments where I was like, really? You gonna do that? Okay. Yeah. Or like, it's like ignorance goes too far. Like, I'm a vault dweller. I don't know anything. And it's like, no, but you're still a human being. Like, you still can function. Like, right? Like, this wouldn't be like that much of a mystery to you, I don't think. You know, that
Zeke's never met a vault dweller.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, maybe it was less believable to me than it was to, you know, a lot of other people. And that's a matter of like how I think and how everyone else thinks. Like,
yeah,
it didn't hit me the way that it hit everyone else, but I liked it. It was an easy binge, and I'll binge the next one too. Yeah. It's a fucking good show to watch. It's a fun show to watch. Is it like, it's not going to make me, you know, it's not going to affect me emotionally or make me think too long after it, but it's definitely like, while I'm watching, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of, and I would agree. And that's the thing is, though, is in a lot of ways, that's the whole Fallout universe. The whole thing is kind of like pulp humor. Like it's very outside of the whole, you know, war is hell motif. It's not really trying to to deliver on too many deep messaging.
Yeah, well, that's that.
Although there is some every now and then.
There is some of that in the show, and I think those were some of my like favorite moments because the thing that I have always respected about the Fallout games, while I've not enjoyed the actual like game aspect of them, I still know a lot of the major storylines and story threads in all those games because it's impossible to exist in the space in the role that I have in this space without knowing that type of stuff, just through people talking. And so I've always been jealous that like I've never been able to interact with any of that or understand the full like process of any of that. And the show lets you understand and kind of gives different routes to getting to those like big moments within Fallout lore. And that's where I was super on board. When they do like all of the, you know, all the iconic Fallout shit that you would expect to be in a Fallout thing. And kind of give you a reason for all that. They also do a bunch of stuff too, where it's like as far as I know, you guys will have to correct me. And, they explain why things exist that have been in Fallout forever that the games have never like attempted to. And I was like, that's really fucking cool. Like I like that. I'm a fan of like why the Pip-Boy guy looks like that. Cool.
Why the vault colors are the colors they are.
Yeah. That stuff was really cool to me. And it allowed me to like experience, you know, Fallout with having played the games. And that's where I was super on board. But you guys are right. Like it wasn't like a thought-provoking show apart from maybe the first 10 minutes.
There were like, the first 10 minutes were really good. And also they're doing some, they're starting to do some fun things based on like relationships, and the father-daughter thing at the beginning was really interesting. And there's some interesting things in there, I think, for sure.
Yeah. I do think that, you know, going back to the first 10 minutes, if you watch that and you're not immediately into and like grabbed by what is happening in front of you, like they created a hell of a hook in the opening of the show that will definitely at least make you finish that first episode. And I think that's what drew me in and kind of kept me seated for it's only 8 episodes, but it feels like they cover so much throughout that entire process. So yeah, it was great. I'm glad that they're getting season 2. It also makes me, I guess, less worried, but also still kind of worried for like the God of War show that they're doing and the Horizon show that they're doing. God of War tells a singular story, and it's not a world that they're telling, it's a story that they're telling, and so they could very easily fuck that up. Same thing with kind of Horizon. Horizon could also be really cool in terms of the world that they're telling, but we'll have to see how it goes. I think God of War 2 is like so paramount on the actor playing Kratos that if it's not what all people that have played God of War imagine, you know, Kratos to be, it's just gonna suck. Like I don't know.
In a lot of ways, yep.
They could very easily Master Chief that up.
Well, I know someone who did a pretty good God of War cosplay not too long ago, and I think he's probably available and willing to shave his head again.
There you go.
You know,
okay. You're talking about Christopher Judge, right? That's
right. That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, Christopher Judge. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, real quick on the Fallout thing, what was your favorite like callback to the game, like Easter egg, I guess, in the show?
God, there's so many.
That's non spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
You have the one that stands out. No, I'm not talking about like. Is there spoilerific ones? Like,
I mean, I think some of the stuff towards the end is definitely a little.
Sure, I suppose. Yeah.
There's a lot of like reference stuff that really caught me.
I think it's just how much like. For me, it's how much of the video game existed in the show without beating you over the head. Kind of what I was talking about earlier, like VATS, for example. Like,
when did that happen? Because I was waiting for it.
In episode 2, the ghoul fight, they do a ton of like slow motion bullet shots of him just like blowing people's chest open.
Sure. Did they make the sound?
No, not really.
That's what I was waiting for. I
don't
swear to
think
God,
so.
I was waiting for that.
They do make some of the classic Fallout sounds though in the show.
Yeah, they
like
do.
when they do the selection stuff and everything. That stuff is great.
Sure.
Like
sure.
Yeah, that stuff is awesome.
That didn't jump out to me as VATS either, guys. That's why I was waiting for VATS. That was the one thing I was like, show me the VATS.
I feel like if they went any further than what they did, it would be the Doom FPS
it would.
moment.
I agree. I agree.
Absolutely. I was waiting for them to justify it in a way that I kind of could buy. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they had like, glasses or something like connected to their Pip-Away. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
Like stim pack stuff was
I'm
great.
just spitballing here.
Yeah, I loved all the stim pack stuff. I loved like the rad stuff, all of that. There's like
I got rad away in my arm.
Yeah, that stuff was great.
Awesome.
The hacking moment was really fucking cool. That was really cool.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, because
I also love
it was believable, and they didn't explain it. It just happened.
Yeah, and I love that there's an entire character that represents like the agile perk.
Yeah,
like it's almost like he's a reference in himself, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love it.
The show is like full of nods to the game, but none of them like beat you over the head, and it's so you could tell that Nolan is, and he had stated as such before going into it, but like you could tell he's played the games and he's a fan of the games because all that stuff was in there without some bullshit like. You didn't think some executive team was like, okay, we've got like 10 nods to the games and the gamers will love that. It's like, no, it's just a guy creating a game in a show.
It doesn't feel like a person working at TGI Fridays trying to get in their necessary pieces of Fallout flair.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't, it doesn't feel like it's trying.
Yes.
And that's the best part is that it doesn't feel like it's trying.
Yeah.
Well, it gives the Fallout fans, like the Fallout game fans, like something to look for without having to beat you over that. And we're gamers, so we love that shit. It's like, okay, I'm gonna watch this episode with my eyes peeled for like Easter eggs and shit. And when you find them, you're like, oh yeah,
yeah.
Feels good.
One of them was really good. That I didn't put it together, but I was watching it with Katie, and she was like, I bet the access code that you just saw, I bet that was the release date of Fallout 1. I was like, holy shit! I was like, fucking nailed it, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
101097 was the access code that you see on the screen.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. That was the Easter egg to the first Fallout release.
That's good. Yeah. I'm going to have to look up a video or a website that like goes through all the Easter eggs. Cause I'm sure there's countless ones, that are all.
Well, and the reason why is because she was like, Bethesda loves to do that with dates. Like
right.
Skyrim was released on 11/11/11, 10/10 for this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. IGN made a video. It's got 100+ references. Nice. I might have to check that out. That's kind of crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. There's part of me still, it's like, maybe I should actually check out a Fallout game. But I've stopped myself from doing it. But I'm getting close because we're going into like a dry.
Honestly,
it's the best time as a streamer.
The literal
best
time.
Yes.
This is
from a business point of view. It's the best time. Specifically, like Fallout 76, Dance Gaming, Gassy, a bunch of different folk.
Fallout 76 is the worst possible thing you could play in the Fallout.
No, 100%. But I'm saying as a streamer with the gifted sub program that's running right now,
okay, that's true.
Very, very smart business wise. To like, you're seeing Fallout. You're seeing viewer numbers like go up when playing Fallout 76, and I'm getting like really bad whiplash seeing that, where it's like, what the fuck is going on? It's like when Final Fantasy was big, like a year ago or 2 years ago, and I was like, what the fuck?
I've been looking at chat and shit, and like I'm seeing all the Fallout 76 like people who have kind of stuck with it are just like, it's good now. Come back. It's good now.
Yeah, I've seen like Italian's been very vocal about that on Twitter, and it's still Fallout 76 at the end of the day. It's still Fallout 76. A bunch of people have been playing Fallout 4 modded, like Burke Black's doing a 1K mod playthrough or something.
Okay.
The Life is Real or something. I forget what it is.
I see so many people in chat are saying, oh, 76 is good now. Oh, it's great. Like, okay. So here's the thing. It depends on why you like the Fallout show. No, I'm serious. I'm being totally serious. If you like the show because it's super goofy and over the top and it's silly and it's funny and that's the part of the Fallout world you like, I feel like 76 may be a good place for you to be because there's lots of other people and lots of organic, ridiculous situations. There's cosmetics for everything, so everyone looks like a freaking clown.
Yeah.
Like it's still a Fallout world, which is arguably my favorite part of 76, is the world, and that's there to explore and stuff. And most importantly, new Fallout people can play with experienced Fallout people. The Fallout 76 community is awesome. There you go. There's some reasons to play 76 if you're a fan. If you're watching and like the Fallout show for the world and lore, 76 is a monetized clown show.
You don't think it pushes the lore or story forward?
No, not at all. Okay. No, it doesn't. So if you want like the actual like lore and the stories from the world and like the actual stuff of Fallout, that's not what 76 is. 76 is a sandbox to monetize the Fallout universe in multiplayer. That's what that is. It's not the Fallout games.
Yeah.
So, that's but it has a place, and I'm thrilled it's in a better place. I don't like 76 for my own personal reasons, but I love that people's enjoying it. I love that people that never would play the Fallout games enjoy 76.
Sounds like someone's never been to a decent clown show. That's all I'm saying.
No,
there are some clown shows out there that'll knock your fucking dick in the dirt. I'm telling you, they're great.
What's funny enough is the best parts of 76 are like the stuff that I feel the other games just do light years better, which is like there are some quests in 76 that they finally put in after the community like choked them, telling them they wanted them in. And they're pretty good. Like I like the Wastelanders and the Brotherhood of Steel stuff. Like that stuff's okay. It's all right. I would have preferred all that in a single player game, obviously, but it's fine. It's good introductions to that stuff, I feel.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But again, I feel like all the other games do all that better. So, like everything 76 does, if you like the Fallout world and lore, I feel like the other games do that better. But 76 does stuff the other games just can't do, like multiplayer and RNG looting and the social hub and cosmetics for everything and. Which some people love. I mean, so it's got a place. It's got a place.
Yeah.
There you go. So a little bit of a longer anser there.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What it is actually doing is making me want to go and at least like because I dabble in retro.
Yeah.
You know me, so it makes me want to like at least give Fallout 1 and 2 like another shot. But like I tried them, man, they are hard to get into because just to old on them. It's just everything moves so much slower, in those
Fallout
games.
1 and 2 are so sorely in need of like a remaster.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to play
something to bring it into today's day and age. Like they've been hobbling by with fan-made patches and stuff, but
yeah,
I love the games and they're tough to replay. They really are.
Yeah. Zeke, you should play them so we get one. So we get a remaster.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, get the Zeke. Not a curse. I guess that is a curse, but it's a win for all. It's a curse for you. Well, it's a curse for you because you play a bad game, and then it gets remastered, and we all reap the benefits.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the Zeke solo curse. Yeah,
there we go.
The Zeke effect. I like that.
Zeke effect. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That's Fallout in a nutshell. It's been wild to see one that show was good, right? Like I had pretty low expectations for it. I came away like super into it, into the like massive resurgence that, if anything, only emboldens the executives to like make more games into TV shows and movies and.
Hey,
but
you know what?
Also, let's do it.
They're going to keep doing it like this.
Yeah. That's true. As long as they're good, that's the hope.
They could make every game into a TV show if they're all good.
Yeah. If they're all good, that's
I think we're worried more about them sucking.
That's the thing. We've got Borderlands, the movie coming up. That put out a trailer. We got the Minecraft film that just wrapped up filming. I think Jack Black is playing Steve in that.
That's gonna be.
I missed they were making a movie about Minecraft. I missed it.
Yeah,
I didn't know this. First I'm hearing of it. So
yeah, that just wrapped. I'm trying to think what else is out there that's been With the God of War stuff, the Horizon stuff, that's all been greenlit.
What exactly are they doing with the God of War stuff? What's the story there?
It's Amazon Studios is making a God of War TV show.
Have they said like where it's going to be? Are they retelling or new stuff or nothing?
I don't know. They haven't gotten into it. I would think they're going to go the route of like, kind of like exactly what, it's what The Boys started. It's what Fallout continued to do, where it's like this gritty, like hyper violence, very gore esque thing. And they'll just do that with God of War while hopefully telling a good story. And I hope it's like the more recent God of War, like 2018 God of War instead of the old school God of War where he's just a fucking piece of shit. But
yeah,
2018 nice. God of War doesn't really work unless you have the backdrop of piece of shit Kratos. So
they got to work through him to get to the good stuff,
yeah.
I guess.
If they do like flashback sequence, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know what he's doing these days or if he's keeping up with his workout regimen or anything like that. But like, I'm calling Bill Goldberg.
Goldberg is Kratos. That's the issue. Is Fallout got lucky. The casting was good. However you want to say it. Goggins is Goggins. Ella Purnell, who plays the Vault Dweller, is very, very good. And the Brotherhood of Steel guy was also very, very good. But
yeah, dude, he was amazing.
They don't have to fit a mold of like, you have to look like Kratos. And so there's a very few select actors that can pull off the look of Kratos, but
dude,
also
I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to like,
but he also
Kratos
has to be an old
and not
dude.
hear Christopher Judge.
Yeah. And also the voice.
He's
You're right.
so iconic.
You're right.
Like if he doesn't sound
that's
exactly
true.
like him,
that's
it's going to
very
be weird.
true.
Yeah. They have so many things that they have to like hit for that to work. Cause he's like you said, voice, look, and honestly, like feel of a character where he can say a singular word and make you get chills from him just being like, boy.
Yep.
That's so hard to do. I don't know how they replicate that. It seems like it's almost an impossible task. So we'll see, I guess. Yeah, a lot of people are saying
Dave Bautista, but like
he's a really good actor, but I don't know if you don't think he's a good actor? Did you not?
He's very hit and miss. He's like really hit or real big miss.
I think
I feel like Dave Bautista is kind of like Keanu Reeves, where it's like if he's in the right role, he does phenomenally. But if he's in a role that he's clearly not kind of good at, then it sticks out pretty badly. Does that make sense?
Sure. I mean, I thought like Blade Runner with Bautista was like incredible.
Loved him in Blade Runner.
Fucking incredible. What did you not like of him?
Hated him in Dune. He was bad in Dune.
See, I haven't seen Dune
really?
2 or I haven't remembered Dune 1, so I couldn't
seen the
tell
first
you.
one.
Yeah.
I don't think it was bad.
He didn't have that big a part. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. But like, I didn't like him. I thought it was. I
didn't mind him at all.
It was just he's wooden a lot of the time. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, what wooden means to.
Yeah. No, it's stiff.
Just
right?
very like. I don't know. It's just a personal preference thing. You can hate me all you want. I don't give a fuck. I just think he's not. I think when he hits. When he's in a role that suits him.
Yeah, it's not personal preference.
Like he was perfect.
Everyone's
as
got
Drax
an opinion.
Because
that's how it goes.
No, he was perfect as Drax because, like, that's him. that's his acting style.
Yeah.
It comes through. It shines.
Sure.
Well, no, Zeke, you said something kind of interesting earlier where you said, it's just your opinion. Not like anyone can do anything about it. But we're in the unique position where they can actually unsub from you.
Oh, shit. That's right.
That's
so
you can't have.
That's probably the best thing you could do. Yeah, if you don't like Zeke's opinion.
That's right. Can't have.
No, I'm hate farming right now. By the way.
Oh, he's going
hate farming. Let's go.
That's the long game. Smart.
I am. Oh shit! Now I revealed it though, so it's not going to be. Damn it!
It's okay.
Everyone's going to know I'm phony hate farming.
We'll
shit.
Forget. We'll move forward and we'll forget. Yeah, God of War is going to be rough. We're not. I wouldn't call any of us Sonic fans in any percentage. There's
not movie. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the games are the games. But I haven't even seen the Sonic films. But Keanu's playing Shadow. the Hedgehog. So now we have
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, yeah, that was announced this past week. He's playing Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
so
I heard
now
about that. Yep.
Idris Elba is Knuckles.
They brought in the Cyberpunk crew to Sonic.
It's the Cyberpunk crew in Sonic. Sonic 3.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. It is live action, chap, but it's like Sonic is CG'd, just like Knuckles is CG'd. I think the Knuckles TV show is premiering soon, so Shadow might even be in that with Keanu. But yeah, I need to watch those films just as like someone that's in the video game world. I need to have a take on them because I haven't seen them. I've heard they're okay. They're okay / good, depending on the fandom level, I think. So I just know that Keanu as Shadow would be. It was widely celebrated, and I need to know why. I need to know why.
Celebrated. I love that word. Celebrated.
Need to know why. That's such a big deal. Yeah, and like that film also has Jim Carrey's in that film, right? Like they've got huge stars, so it has to be at least something has to be going on in there, and they've made 3 of them, plus a spinoff show on Paramount. There's got to be good in that whole thing. I gotta check it out for knowledge.
I love that you sound like somebody trying to convince themselves. There has to be reason here. There has to be.
Yeah, no, I'm slow. That's what I'm doing.
This can't be happening.
I am convincing myself. It's going to take some convincing. Yeah, I'm building up to it.
Somebody please make it make sense to me.
I think that's most of the like Hollywood games thing. I mentioned it earlier, but they wrapped filming on the Minecraft movie. And I think it was announced that Jack Black is playing Steve, which is the main Minecraft character, which Minecraft lore is kind of weird.
Wasn't he like the number 6 most iconic character of video games?
Something like that.
Of course, after Lara Croft.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, there is that young Transformers movie. Did you see that, Zeke? I think you're maybe the Transformers, at least old school. They're doing Transformers 1, so they're going back to Cybertron, but it's like a CG film, and it's like a comedy thing. It's weird. Chris Hemsworth.
What's it called?
Transformers 1.
Okay.
It's called Transformers 1?
Yeah, like
the number 1?
Oh, it's spelled out. O-N-E. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not Megatron and Optimus. It's Orion, Pax, and D16. So it's like the original Transformers lore.
Huh.
Chris fucking Hemsworth is Optimus Prime?
Yes, he is.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes, he is.
How do you feel about it?
He's good. He's fine.
Scarlett Johansson's also.
I doubted fucking Mario. So like, and he did great.
Keegan Michael Key is Wait, no, Chris Hemsworth wasn't Mario. That was
Keegan?
That's Chris Pratt. Yeah, Keegan's Bumblebee.
No, I'm saying I doubted Chris Pratt as Mario.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he did fine.
So Chris Hemsworth can do fine as Optimus, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying like, I give him a chance.
Yeah, John Hamm's in there. Sindel Prime. They've got good actors and actresses, but yeah, it's a weird thing. And did you see the art for it, Zeke? That's the thing where a lot of people are.
I'm looking at it right now. I think.
Yeah, the like soft shaded Transformer look to it looks kind of strange. I'll show it.
It made him look too. Oh my god! They made him look too human. What the fuck is that?
It's this. Yeah,
they're robots in disguise.
Yeah.
They look like
no!
They don't have
they have expressions.
They don't have the spark yet. That's why they get the spark in the film, and so then they're able to, be more than meets the eye. Transformers.
That's good than being less than meets the eye.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is like for me. Like I don't really get like proprietary about like shit. Like Transformers is my shit. But like, if I did, this would be like Sonic levels of like, oh no, like no, put it back the way it was. It was fine. It wasn't broken. You tried to fix it.
Yeah. I get it. Watch the trailer if you're at all curious. it's a little bit of you're immediately hit by what the film is, and then by the end of it, at least I was like, okay, that looks all right. But the first 5 seconds, you're like, what the fuck is this? And then it gets a little bit better over time. Video game news.
They don't have a trailer or anything.
They do. There's a trailer.
Okay, there we go. Oh, just wasn't seeing it. Okay.
Yeah. There's a proper trailer for it.
I heard there was video game news.
There is video game news. Yeah. Our sponsors, Star Wars Outlaws. This is the biggest.
We are not sponsored by Ubisoft.
We're not sponsored by Ubisoft. The biggest news, the biggest outrage this past week was the Jabba the Hutt mission in Star Wars Outlaws is locked behind a season pass. And if there's one fan base that really loves to get angry on the internet, it's the Star Wars fan base. And then when you take the gamer fan base with the you're just fucking with fire, Ubisoft. You're really like actual lava.
Ubisoft, I mean, they remind me of that because they did the South Park, first 2 South Park games, right? They just remind me of South Park. They're like, fuck you, I'll piss in your faces.
Yeah.
That's what they remind me of.
Yeah. This is nothing new to the Ubisoft world. They've done this before with a ton of their games in terms, and also nothing new to the video game world when it comes to locking specific missions behind platform exclusive season passes, whatever. But this one is the Jabba's Gambit mission at launch is locked behind the season pass. And then before that, the outrage around Star Wars Outlaws that I think it was announced at the same time is that it's a $70 base game, but there's the gold edition for $109.99, and then the ultimate edition for $129.99. So they're starting to, put out the season pass and all that stuff for a lot more money, and then lock, potentially the most iconic. We don't know what's in the game, but potentially the most iconic Star Wars thing in it with Jabba the Hutt, in a mission in the season pass.
I liked their official response as well, where it's like somebody was like, "How are you going to put the Java missions behind there?" And, well, he's in other parts of the game, so it's okay.
Oh, was that their?
It was essentially like, no, it's not the only ones, and it's like, not the point.
Yeah.
No, not the point. Not the point.
They're
not to go back to shit we've already talked about, but I just watched 30 seconds of the Transformer 1 trailer.
Not a fan.
And it's for kids. It's not for me. It is definitely not for anybody who loved or even liked the Transformers original.
Okay.
Like cartoon or toys or anything like that. It is distinctly not us in mind that they're marketing this to. They want to market it to a brand new audience who has no idea where the Transformers actually came from or what they stand for.
They're trying to
what
sell.
They look like.
They're trying to sell.
So that's
toys.
fine. That's fine. I'm fine with that. That's totally fine.
They're trying to sell toys.
I'm fine.
That's what
I'm
you know
fine.
what?
I'm fine.
You sound fine. He sounds fine. He sounds fine.
I think he's okay.
I think he's fine.
See, now this is how I'm going to pull us back. What Zeke just did is basically a Star Wars fan reacting to the news of Star Wars Outlaws.
I know.
A Star Wars fan reacts by Zeke the Third.
Yes, it's just different subject matter. It's all the same. It's all the same. The Star Wars Outlaws, I think, was announced and shown when they first did it, and they kind of had that like the spark of like, oh yeah, this could be kind of cool. And then now they're kind of Ubisofting it up as time progresses with this, and so a lot of people are upset with the pricing, with them like doing this with the DLC. But I'm not surprised in the least by it. They've been this has happened for years in the industry. Not saying that you shouldn't be upset about it, or not trying to say like I'm not surprised.
You can still be upset about something and not be surprised by it.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good point.
I've been saying that a lot lately.
Yeah. So that was like the biggest, I think, conversation point that folks have had for the past really 2 weeks. There's been a smattering of different things. Kingdomcome Deliverance 2 got leaked by IGN and then got officially revealed by Warhorse Studios.
Man,
which I don't know what your response is, Cohh, and what you just did means. I was surprised that this got a second game. I was like under the I didn't play it, and maybe that's why. But I was under the impression that the first Kingdom Come was like not a good game.
Okay.
Chat was very quick to tell me that I'm wrong about that. It was
completely wrong. So what it comes down to is first of all, Kingdom Come Deliverance was released in not the best state.
Maybe that's what
it was. It was very buggy, and a lot of people, including me, actually had major game-breaking bugs. And there were issues. The devs, however, did stick with it, and there always was and is a really solid foundation. They've since released DLCs, and it's kind of become honestly a bit of a cult classic. So it is very much a success story for sure. I would classify it as such. So KCD2, honestly, for me and many others, incredibly hyped.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they kind of spent a lot of the first game kind of finding their voice. And now that they have, I think it's going to be really cool to see them kind of start at a much higher level when making a new Kingdom Come Deliverance. Also, the trailer looked incredible.
Yeah.
Like it looked really good. I mean, especially compared to like the first game. So yeah, I mean, I'm super looking forward to it, man.
Yeah. It just looks like all around there's more money pumped into it this time around.
Yes, more money and more skill.
Yeah. And they even say that, I mean, that was a big, in this like 18 minutes, something like that. 13-minute video they put out. They're very quick to say like, yeah, we've got more money and more experience going into this. And so we've got a bigger team. I think they said the first game was like 11 devs or something when they first started out. So I was surprised by the fandom around it.
It's very palpable.
It's cool that, folks are getting what they wanted.
To be clear, the thing that I was doing the big eye roll and sigh about was,
what was that?
IGN, man.
Oh, with the leak.
Like, I mean, like, my God, dude. Like, just
did they say what happened, or did it just leak? The video went live.
I don't know, but it's the kind of thing where it's like that announcement is something that this team has been working on for years. It was a huge moment, and just to have a company that is supposed to be, a professional organization have something like that happen. It's mind-bogglingly just not okay. It's horrible. It's horrible. And it's all because of just who even knows why it happened, but yeah, just some dumb mistake, most likely.
Yeah. I was,
they have a responsibility to report the news, though.
They have a responsibility. Wait, what? What are you talking about?
It wasn't them reporting the news.
Wait, do you know what happened? Do you know what we're talking about?
No, I don't.
They accidentally uploaded
leaked the trailer.
The video player. Yeah, it was accidentally uploaded to the video player.
So here's what they did. They leaked.
I thought someone from IGN found the leak.
No.
No. IGN released the trailer early with the release date. And the thing was that the whole huge deal about this trailer was not only that the game looks incredible, that we're all excited for it, but it's a 2024 release. Like they're trying to fall out for it in a lot of ways, which is amazing. That's incredible. So yeah, IGN basically got all the clicks and all of the hype and all of the spotlight on them instead of the devs, which deserved it because they screwed up.
Yeah.
And that sucks. That sucks for the devs. It sucks for the fans. It sucks for everybody. Everybody. Yeah. The only person that wins is IGN.
Well, technically they didn't even win because the video went down right after. So,
well, I mean, we're all talking about them. People are going to their website, seeing if they can find more info. Like, it's a PR thing, man.
I think IGN does okay without us talking about them.
Not us, obviously, but I mean, everybody, not us. I don't even know we exist. What are you talking about?
No, they have done articles specifically from things that have happened on the show. They do know we exist. We've been in at least 2 articles on IGN.com. But still,
it's just again, it's really unfortunate, man.
Yeah,
it's just it's very, very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's a thing.
And these CGI graphics are amazing.
I think Cohh just dislikes IGN. I mean, I don't dislike them. It's hard to take them seriously with a lot of the stuff that's happened over the years. But I don't dislike. I mean, I know people that work there and they are doing the best they can and they work their butts off. And you know, the unfortunate thing is, funny enough, we were talking about this earlier. The unfortunate thing about journalism these days is that it's dead. So when companies like IGN try to exist, you know, they unfortunately have to make a third of what they write just clickbaity drivel to pay the bills. And even then, most sites can't even do that. So it's like, it sucks. It sucks. But I mean, I don't remember if it was it on this show or my stream earlier today? We were talking about PC Gamer. I don't even remember. It all bleeds together.
That might have been on your stream.
Yeah, we were talking about PC Gamer. And how like a third of the PC Gamer articles these days are just clickbait drivel. They're literal garbage.
Yeah.
But then the other 2/3 are like PC Gamer stuff you know, like classic PC Gamer stuff, and it just kind of sucks that companies have to do that these days.
Yeah,
to make ends meet.
Well, I mean,
it's unfortunate.
No one clicks on the other 2/3, right? They click on the hot takes.
Some of us still do. No. Us old people, like some of us. I remember PC Gamer when it came with the disc, and like I'd read every word of that, like, cover to cover. I'd be in my bathroom for like a month.
But
oh man,
you bought it because you bought it because of the disc, though.
The disc was awesome, but I also read the magazine.
That was the fall. I did. That was the fall of that was them trying to push mags where they had to.
I still read the like it was PC Gamer is a mainstay.
Yeah,
You know, it was the only thing.
They were all good. PC. I mean, I have old Nintendo Powers that are like nostalgic as shit.
I know.
And I just see the
Chad,
cover.
I read it for the articles, Chad. I swear.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those PC Gamer centerfolds.
Oh man!
Did you guys?
They were showing PCs with their cases off.
Do you remember? Did either of you read PC Accelerator, the magazine?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, there was also like EGM and
EGM was huge. Too. Yeah, PC Accelerator. You guys were talking about the centerfolds and everything. Like that's what PC Accelerator was.
Maximum PC.
It was Maxim PC. Yeah. Oh, Maximum PC was a actual magazine. PC. Okay.
Yes.
I was saying Accelerator was
Maxim. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like the Dude Bro PC magazine.
The Dude Bro PC magazine.
Yes, that's what that entire magazine was. That's
really was.
They were trying to. They tried everything to keep it alive. Right now, the only one that still exists is Game Informer, and even Game Informer, I think earlier this year announced. They have like a sub program now or something like that, didn't they?
Really?
Yeah. The new Magazine Informer game subscription, March 26th. It's $19.91 $19.91. You get 10 issues and then all the other stuff as well. I think you get some online components, but they're basically like trying to Patreon it. But GameStop is what kept Game Informer alive for so long.
Yeah, for a long time.
For the longest time, really, yeah. And now I think they're like one that. And does PC Gamer still put out a physical magazine, or is it all online?
I think for a while you could order them, but I don't know if they do that anymore, to be honest.
Let's see.
Not sure. I think it was like a specialty thing. I don't know if it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. They're rare though. You're not wrong, Cohh, about gaming journalism being being what it is these days. Without
or I mean, help journalism. In a lot of ways. Yeah.
That is true. That is true. What else do we got? Larian made some more stuff. Larian, actually, this is 2 weeks old news, but we haven't talked about it. At the BAFTAs, they also took home Game of the Year, and they are the only game to win in the history of games 5 Game of the Years from like the big 5 publications, whatever. with Baldur's Gate 3. So they've done the
Pretty
first,
awesome,
which deserved.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah.
Do they have a name for it, like EGOT? Like, if you win a
I don't even think people realized that it was a thing until there was an article about it.
Here's the thing. They just made it a thing. Like, it's new. It wasn't a thing before this, so there was no name.
Yeah. But still, massive thing for them. That was really cool. By the way, did either of you watch any of the BAFTAs? I watched it live.
I know you did.
I loved
Good job, buddy.
Dude.
I saw you on the rankings.
Yeah, that was also weird to be on the rankings for that. Cohh's referencing on Twitter. Is it Stream
Hatchet or Stream
Hatchet?
Charts?
Yeah,
one of those.
There's like a social media account that tracks popular events and like the biggest streamers for it. And I ranked because no one else was streaming it this time around. But anyways,
I'd never actually seen, like, there was 3 people on the list. It was like, here's the top streams, and it was like BAFTA _EN. It'd be JP.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
And I felt like it was JP sitting in a theater by himself watching the BAFTAs.
Yeah. Dude,
what's up, guys?
The show was, for all of the bullshit that people gave the Game Awards, the Jeff show, the BAFTAs was exactly what people bitched about. It was a very good show. There was no ads. There was no trailers. It was developers awkwardly accepting awards and giving very pleasant speeches and having all the emotional reactions that you would want. The writing was very good from the host, who was like actually a video. I mean, he had played video games, and the commentary and jokes that he was making were like of video games and actually from a video game point of view. I'm trying not to sound like the other hosts suck, but he was funny, I guess, is ultimately what I'm getting at.
He's like, familiar with our world.
Yeah. Phil Wang is his name. If you know the comedian, but like, he was very good. Phil
and that name sounds like a punchline, dude.
He was very funny. And it was just a generally good show. I really wished it had, I really wished I didn't rank on Streamer Hatchet, because
somebody watched it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's because more people needed to watch it. The BAFTAs absolutely nailed it this year.
I'll watch it next year for sure. I did not realize it was that level of thing. I thought it was. I'll be blunt. Not only did I not know a lot about the BAFTAs, but I thought it was like an Oscars thing. I thought it was like more of a. I thought it was like a big pomp and circumstance thing.
It is a little bit, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like that. They have one of the categories is like UK Game of the Year, and it's only UK studios. So there is a little.
Is it all about gaming, or is it about?
Yes,
it is all gaming.
This BAFTA award show is like a smaller subset of the bigger BAFTAs, which kind of cover all art forms, I think, in the UK. And so this was a game specific one, but it was very good.
Oh, man.
And the acceptance speeches were fantastic. There's, you got your stereotypical, like, crying, you got your stereotypical, like, very awkward, you got your mix of both, they had, Performer of the Year was the actor that played, the devil in Baldur's Gate 3. He won over everyone else. Yeah.
The guy that played Raphael?
Yes. Yeah. He won.
Really?
Cool. And he gave a very Christopher Judge speech that
how fun, dude.
Went on a little bit, but he sounded, because he is Raphael, it sounded like Raphael was just giving an acceptance speech, which is great. It was 10 out of 10.
I need to watch that.
Yeah. Cohh, I was actually surprised you didn't hear about this. The Dave the Diver team won for maybe best game.
I heard they
best new game, best debut IP, something like that. And in his acceptance speech at the very end of it, he said, it was best debut game. Is that what it was? In his acceptance speech, he said at the end, "Thank you for not calling us indie."
They were that's been a very a sticking point.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I love that he was they were like so upfront about it. They got that right. He was not that's not an indie game. That's what everyone argued about.
Nope.
Oh, Raphael won Best Supporting Actor. Miles Morales actor won Best Actor. Okay, that's what it was. Got it.
Oh, that I heard about. Yeah, big congrats to him, man. That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Viewfinder won some awards. I know you guys are both big fans of that. Their acceptance speech was awesome. Like, it's exactly what you would expect it to be. And it was really, really endearing. And like, they were awkward, but then the awkwardness broke, and I think they just like straight up they just started crying because of how emotional they were about the whole thing. I think when she
they won British Game of the Year.
Yeah, they won. I think they won 2 awards for Viewfinder. Maybe.
Did they? Okay.
Award. Yeah, but she first got up there and was like, "Are you guys going to serve food? I'm hungry." It was really good.
I think that's really adorable.
I hope they have snacks. That's what she said. Yeah. I hope you guys are going to give snacks during the breaks. So, and then they asked for money as well. They were like, please, we need more money to make more games. Please buy our game. In like a totally endearing way, not so blatantly as I just stated. So go and watch the show is ultimately what I'm getting.
Yeah, I was gonna maybe I should watch it.
You should. It's at least the acceptance speeches. They're very, 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 very good.
Sven actually mentioned that out of all the shows that he had done for Baldur's Gate 3, that he thinks the BAFTA was his kind of like, I don't know what the exact words he said was, but I think he said it was one of his favorites.
Yeah, I think I think he also made a remark about how it was like the bookend to Baldur's Gate. Like that was like they're done now and can move forward apart from the patches they're putting out. Because they did come out and say that they are working on 2 new projects. They also gave the quote, what we're working on now will be our best work ever. So that's super exciting. I think everyone looks at that and is like, please don't CD Projekt us. Like we don't like mess this up somehow. Just make a really, really good game. The cynicism of gamers is like, please don't fuck up. Like, please just put out a good game. You've got everyone's eyes on you now after Baldur's Gate 3. So we'll see what happens with that. It'd probably be several years before we hear anything about that. What else? Hades 2, they did a live stream for it, and also
they did a technical test.
Yeah, there's a technical test that a couple streamers have gotten access to, because you could just straight up stream it if you have it. And they even did a stream themselves. And it looks fucking awesome. It looks like more Hades. Like I
want to play it.
Yeah, it's Hades again. They're redoing all the different artwork for all the different gods. I was told there was a story reason for that. I didn't watch any of it because it's like Hades 2. Yeah, just put it out.
Yeah, I'm in.
I know,
right?
Like I don't need to see anything for that. Nope. I will play it.
No, someone told me about like, oh, there's a thing you can do, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't.
You're gonna give me.
There's a thing.
You're gonna give me like a really tiny crack rock.
Yeah,
and not the whole crack rock.
I
don't want it. I don't want that. Yeah. I'll wait. I can wait for the big crack rock. It's fine.
Yeah, I looked at like 30 seconds of footage. There's a mana bar now. And there's like a staff that the main character can use. So I guess they have some sort of spell casting mechanic in, which is awesome. Like evolution of that entire game. I'm in. Just put it out. I'll pay whatever. You don't have to do anything else. It's
better be $60.
It's fucking Hades 2.
I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, it's Hades 2. Like that's, you don't have to say anything else. That game's phenomenal. What else?
And I saw a bunch of this. Like when you brought up Hades 2, it's like, oh, Silk Song fans in shambles.
So Silk Song is. I mean, I'm riding high on copium with the rest of the Silk Song fan base, but there'll probably be something at Summer Game Fest for it. With all of the different like ratings boards that are giving it a rating, a lot of people are now thinking in June at SGF that it'll be a release date, shown, playable, something. But
man,
the copium is high.
So high.
Yeah. Yeah.
So high.
It's been 2 years or something since we've seen that though? Like
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Look, If 7 Days to Die is leaving early access,
I know.
the fucking Silk Song can come out.
I have been saying for years, like, I'll play that game when it hits 1.0. I have to actually play it now.
You do.
My excuse is disappearing. I'm gonna have to actually play this damn game.
I just want to know if they have some sort of endgame. God, I don't think they will. It's probably against everything they stand for and everything, but man, it might be one, like, my favorite, like, survival game that I've played. Like, it's just fantastic. The gameplay is excellent. The world, the immersion, like, all of that shit, the fear that they build with the, every 7 days, is just like, it's fantastic. I just want to point. I mean, I know maybe that's a little handholdy, like, oh, the point is to survive. That's not good enough for you. Like, no, it's not good enough for me. It's not what I want. I want a big boss. I want something to work towards. If the goal is to survive, that's life. I do that every day. I don't want that to be my video.
I'm fighting zombies every goddamn day. We've got tunnels that go all the way through Colorado in my house. It's 12 years. 12 years is how long that game has been in development. Just in general. I don't know if that's all of early access. It might be. But this is like one of the original early access games. This will be update 22 is what they're calling Alpha 22, which is now 1.0. And they've got a full FAQ. They got a video out for it. They're still talking about Kickstarter stretch goals because that was a thing that happened for this.
That was a thing. Yep.
Yeah. The price change is a thing as well. In their FAQ, it says, "Will there be a price change or price raise?" Sorry, and they say yes at the launch of 1.0 stable. The standard retail price of the game from the point forward will increase to $44.99 on all platforms and storefronts. We're offering a major last chance week-long deal on Steam from April 22nd to April 29th so that people have one last chance to get the game before the price increases. I think it's $20 right now. So they're basically doubling the price there for it. And if you already own it, nothing will happen. They have that in the FAQ as well. I'll read the why increase the cost thing. So there's no, at least there's discussion about why that and not people guessing. They said, we feel as though the quality standard of the game has gone up significantly from what we initially, when the initial price was set over 8 years ago, along with over a decade of contents and improvements. We've looked at how others have handled leaving early access, and this is common practice. We in particular want the price of the PC version to have parity with the console version. We do not wish to force any current users to spend more money to play the game they've always supported. However, new users should see the value the game offers reflected in the cost, and we hope that continued support might fund future endeavors in the expanding 7 Days to Die game even further. DLCs, expansions, and continued free updates, including everything listed in the roadmap. So, wild thing to see that game finally hit 1.0. It's one
very
of those,
exciting.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just never thought that was going to happen. When Zeke played it, I was like, yep, that's an early access game. Have fun with it, Zeke. And I played it, I think, last year as well at some point for the first time.
It's really good. It's really good. I mean, I like it. So, of course, there's a lot of there's some jank to it, but open world, you're going to have that probably no matter what you do, no matter what you try. But, it's among the most fun, well-built, games. I mean, there's some gameplay mechanics that are like inventory shit. Man, we figured this out. How come you're not doing this? That kind of shit. But other than that, man, it's fantastic. I love the ideas of any game that you're like, oh, if you break this, you'll get the materials from that thing. You can just break whatever, and you can take that material. You need some dirt, just go get some dirt from the ground. You need some wood or brick or whatever, just break a wall of a random fucking building, and you can have that shit.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. It's a good one. And
it is a good one.
It's coming to 1.0, or it's getting its 1.0, which is still strange to think about and discuss. Maybe so. With that, maybe we'll also get maybe we'll get Half-Life 3. You know, maybe that's what's next. Is that too crazy? Am I getting too crazy? Kind of
jumped the shark there, didn't we?
I'm getting too crazy now. What else is going on? The City Skylines folk put out a statement around City Skylines 2. Not anything, I think, surprising in this statement. It's basically the game is not in a great state, and we're going to try and make it a better game than it is right now.
Is that it?
I mean, let me clear the cookies here. It's very long.
Wow. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah. It says, looking ahead, we also want to make immediate and meaningful changes in the way we approach game development and our communication with you. Firstly, this means a complete focus on improving the base game and modding tools. And secondly, we want to better involve you, the community, as we choose our priorities going forward. It just seems like I guess that they were just quiet for so long that the quiet got too loud for the community. And so they kind of put this out. In closing, we want to reaffirm our dedication to making City Skylines 2 the best city builder it can be. We appreciate your support and feedback and hope that we can regain your trust going forward. It's our responsibility to earn it, and we hope these actions are our first step in that right direction. We're deeply grateful for your continued support for our game. Please stay tuned for further updates on the game and the refund process. Thank you for being a part of our community. So,
yeah. Okay. So yeah. That's total damage control mode.
They are. I'm
surprised how long this took.
Right.
Is this kind of the first message we've heard about this? The first one of this caliber?
I mean, I skipped it at the very start. I kind of buried the lead. The opening statement is, we see and understand your disappointment many of you expressed after the release of City Skylines 2 and the recent release of the beach properties. I think the beach properties is what sparked this, because they put out DLC without fixing any of the other stuff. We asked for your patience and support, and you've shown those. In return, we let you down. We thought we could make up the shortcomings of a game in a time frame that was unrealistic and rushed out a DLC that should not have been published in its current form. For all of this, we are truly sorry. When we made statements like this one before, it's included a pledge to keep making improvements. And while we are working on these updates, they haven't happened at a speed or magnitude that is acceptable. And it pains us that we've now lost the trust of many of you. We want to do better. Yeah, this is like full.
Wow. Okay.
They're like laying it all out. First thing we want to do is compensate those who have purchased beach properties. We will change the pack to be a free addition to the game, refund it to the extent possible, and provide additional content with the Ultimate Edition. Unfortunately, it will not be possible to offer refunds for Ultimate Edition buyers. They go into why. Yeah. So they're in full, like...
But man, so wait, they released a DLC.
Yeah.
And then it was so bad that they are now
issuing it.
They made it free and then refunded everybody?
If you bought the DLC by itself, yes. If you bought the Ultimate Edition, they cannot refund that.
Ooh, wow.
So that's a pretty big thing, though, to go back and do that.
Huge.
I mean, that's
massive.
Yeah. Large chunk of change for sure.
Now, was it so wait. So City Skyline 2, I know it still has issues.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the fact that the game still has issues and they're selling DLC that's the problem, or does the DLC itself also have a ton of issues in itself?
I think it's both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, chat is saying both.
Just both. The DLC was very lackluster, and the DLC is a problem. The DLC also had issues. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so unfortunate. My lord.
Yeah, it's rough.
Suck all around. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think myself, I wouldn't even say I'm part of that community, but I very much wanted that game to be good, and I played it for 4 hours, and I was like, nope, I'm good. I mean, I think most people, if you were part of that fandom, were severely let down. So it makes sense they put out this
Now, does this actually like strike you as something that's sincere? Like they were like, we're really sorry, or is it just, are we too cynical? Like,
I think so. I mean, I don't have any reason. Paradox has always been, I believe, a like generally good company in that regard. Like this is like the first thing I want to say that they've had a major issue with. But I guess, it's kind of just a misstep in the game. Performance seems to be one of the biggest things about that game that so many people struggled with. And if anything,
kept me away from it.
Yeah. If anything, like City Skyline 1 kind of like kept Paradox alive for so long. Like that game sold so well. That, and they put out like Stellaris and a bunch of other, I think that's Paradox. A bunch of like 4X games or whatever genre you want to call that. And this is like kind of one of their first big missteps. So yeah, I think it's sincere, Zeke, to go back to your original question. I hope it's sincere is maybe a better ways to phrase that. Proof is in the pudding. You got to update the game. You got to make it.
Well, I mean, I'm in the same boat you guys are. I'm sure most gamers are. Most fucking people are. Like, yeah. The apology, like you automatically, like it's like an automatic dismiss. It's like, oh, you're sorry. You're not sorry.
Sure. Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, if I really love the product and I really want them to be sorry, I have a tendency to believe them more often. I'm like, okay, I believe you're sorry because I liked your game.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You tend to be a lot more patient and understanding with people you like.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So that's a thing that happened. A random factoid in terms of just player counts and sales and numbers. Sea of Thieves crossed 40 million players across Xbox, Windows, and Steam 4 days ago, which
damn.
I always forget how big that game is. Because it's just every once in a while I'll see like a stream about it or see some a long update video from them about it. But I just never factor in how big that game is and how like a huge Game Pass is for it. Because 40 million players is crazy. That is
actually insane.
It's a massive number to be associated with anything.
Is that what was that exact number you said?
The exact number is the marketing number of 40 million players. So probably Game Pass and all that stuff.
Since not 40 million at once, obviously, but just have played over time.
Yeah. It's same thing that like Final Fantasy does, where they say 25 million or whatever. It's not active accounts or anything. It's 40 million people who touched our game.
Still an absolutely crazy number.
Yes.
Wonder how many are active. Do they talk at all about current numbers in that area?
They do not. On the seaofthieves.com/news, it just says 40 million players across Xbox, Windows 10, and Steam is an amazing milestone to be able to talk about. Of course, it wouldn't have happened without you. It just says we're incredibly pleased to say the number of pirates who have now set sail in Sea of Thieves is 40 million, and that's it. Don't go into active details or anything like that. But game's still doing well, I'm sure. Otherwise, they wouldn't be.
I bet it's doing all right. Yeah,
they've been pumping those seasons. They're on season 11, I think, at the moment, with multiple seasons still planned. So, and I'm sure they did the like Disney tie-ins, didn't they, for DLC? I'm sure those things sold.
Oh, and the Monkey Island stuff. And
yeah.
I still need to finish that. Actually, I went back and did the first episode of the Sea of Thieves Monkey Island thing. It was great.
Yeah, I
loved it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I got to go back and do the other rest of it at some point.
Nice.
Chat 23,000 currently playing on Steam by Steam.
23,000.
That's still pretty good for what I would.
And that wouldn't count Game Pass, right?
Yeah, I would think that game's heavily Game Pass focused when it comes to their community. Chat, feel free to throw stuff out because we haven't done a show in 2 weeks, so I'm just kind of seeing if there's anything else that we need to discuss or bring up in terms of news before we get to stuff that we've been playing. The Triple I showcase. Yeah, that's right. That was last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of, I had forgotten about that, but now thinking about it, my first open commentary on it was, we always complain about things going too fast, going too slow. That went too fast for me, man. I had a hard time keeping up.
Really?
I felt like a fucking boomer, man, because I was just like, wait, what was the name of that? What is the name of this game? What am I seeing here? I don't know what's happening. This is so much information. It was just trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer with like zero breaks for 45 minutes straight. And I want to be very clear, zero breaks. It was just straight on to the next trailer. It was a lot. But that being said, it was cool. I'm glad it existed. I think
the breaks in shows like that, I think the breaks, like the breaks that I felt were the games that I was like, watch 5 seconds, like,
you're out.
Okay, let's talk. Like, that game looks like not me. Okay,
sure, yeah. I'm trying to think what was the biggest. Cohh, for you, what was the biggest standout? Because,
man, I'd have to go down the list again.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
But the thing is funny enough, what you were talking about was your critique. I loved that about it. Now, granted, I am ADHD. I'm not even ADD. I'm ADHD.
Okay.
So for me, I really enjoyed the pacing. I liked
anymore.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Did they phrase it? Anyway. But yeah, there was like the. I think probably one of the arguably larger announcements, the one that really kind of caught me off guard, was Slay the Spire 2.
Yes.
I mean, I know that game's huge, and I haven't even really dived into it at any point. So in chat freaking went crazy. Yeah. Which was also really fun. Oh, the 7 Days to Die stuff was super cool. I mean, I really enjoyed that showcase. It was just a ton of back-to-back stuff that was all enjoyable, and even the stuff that I wasn't super into, the way that it was presented was entertaining. So it was just kind of like you, Zeke, something would start and I'd immediately be like, this isn't for me. But because of the pacing and everything, it wasn't kind of like, oh, another one of these. It was more like, okay, well, I'll just kind of check this out for a second till the next thing in 2, 3. There we go. Okay, next thing. It was kind of fun. But yeah, it was really good, and the pacing was great. And for me, as somebody who enjoys fast-paced shows, and I hope we get a lot more of this moving forward.
Yeah, I to defend what I said, for some reason, I love fast-paced shows too, but this one,
there was just too much.
I don't know if it was too much. I just think that I needed someone to come out on stage or I don't know what it is. There was a 30-second break in a 45-minute show, and that's it.
That's true. Yeah.
I didn't have time to process anything. But you guys did make a good point in saying, like, the second that you realized you were out for a trailer, you were able to, that was your break, is what both of you said. And I don't think I think I was just, not that I was interested in every single thing, but I was still focused on trying to be like, what was that game? What type of game was that? Who's making that? What was that? There were also so many games. I don't know if you guys had this in your chats when you were watching it, but there was also just like, they didn't have a name tag or anything graphically on the screen. And so unless you caught the like title screen of what the game is for the 5 seconds, it was very hard to tell what games we were actually looking at.
So one thing I will say is it was very clear that was their first show. That was one of more than a few little things where it was very clear that, this is a brand new company that's kind of putting this together.
Yeah.
I will say that it was a fantastic foundation.
Yes.
But that was one of a few little things that I also noticed as well, where it was kind of like, hopefully next time we'll nail that part.
Yeah. I didn't see that much conversation around it. I'm curious what y'all's commentary is. How do you feel about the Prince of Persia thing, Ubisoft being like the bookend of a triple-I showcase. Like, is there any weirdness tricky there? Is there any oddity?
So here's where it sits with me. When I saw Ubi at the end, I immediately thought to myself, and I hate that I'm this level of cynical these days, but I immediately was like, oh, good. Ubisoft put together an indie showcase to flagship their own product. Great. Like, I immediately was just like, they probably organized this. The whole thing's a sham. Blah, so, but then I thought about it more and I was like, but hold on. Let's be real here. Yes, first of all, Ubi is making this game, but it's made by the devs that made
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells.
Yeah.
It's the Dead Cells guys. Like this, and that's an indie sweetheart when it comes down to it. So even then here's what that led me to realizing: even if it is the case that that's what happened, even if it is the case that Ubisoft just swept in and was like, you know what, we are making an indie game with these guys, we want to showcase it, so we're going to put on a whole showcase thing so we can make it the centerpiece. Even if they did that, I think that's a positive overall.
Yeah,
I think that's okay. And I'm fine with it. There were some people when we talked about this the first time that were very much kind of like, oh, I can't believe this is so scummy. I can't believe they're doing this. I can't believe they're using indie devs to advertise for their product. But it was kind of like, yeah, they are, but they're also just advertising a lot of indie devs.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like at the end of the day, they're just kind of spending their AAA bucks to advertise a whole bunch of indies.
True.
Dude, and speaking from experience,
okay.
sometimes like you're just happy to be on the show, man. Sometimes you feel lucky just to be there, like I am every day on this show.
Well, more importantly, I do hope that Ubi's game being at kind of like the crown jewel spot of the show, right? I do hope that means all the other devs did not have to use nearly as many resources as they normally would to put their game in a position like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome. So, if they're going to take the spotlight, the hope would be that the rest of the devs are either not needing to put in resources or being compensated in some way even. I don't even know.
Yeah. And most of the time you sell those spots if you're in like a Jeff situation. But for this, I guess you still sell those spots, but.
Well, we don't know how it works.
Yeah.
We don't know how it works. We don't know if Ubi's running it or if it's a completely independent organization and Ubi's just a sponsor. Like,
who knows? Who knows?
We need a lot more info.
We're guessing at this point for sure. Yeah, but it was still a good show. A good showcase.
It was still a great show, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of it.
Yeah,
sure.
I hope so too.
Yep. Very much hope so.
I hope so too.
Yep. I'm looking forward to that Darkest Dungeon 2 new mode, the Kingdoms mode.
Yeah. Oh, that looks great, dude. Yes, that was a highlight for sure.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Speaking of which, another random little thing though, a lot of announcements at that show. Like a lot of very meaningful, big announcements. That was kind of cool. Like I was totally not expecting that at all. Yeah. I mean, big for the indie scene, but yeah.
Yeah, it was
great.
A good show. A lot of it too was like kept under wraps. Like none of that stuff necessarily leaked going into it. So that was very good.
Yeah, normally IGN doesn't cover indies. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. They weren't allowed to push out the video early this time around. Oh boy. Chad, anything else? Video game news for the past 2 weeks? I'm seeing a bunch of smaller stuff, not anything that's like worth bringing in. EA announced they're not putting out any new content for 2042 and moving on to new projects. I mean, that got 7 seasons out of that game, so they supported that game for a while. 2K layoffs. Oh, I guess 2K had a bunch of layoffs. That wasn't
V Rising release in May.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was on April 17th. Yeah. Take-Two Interactive to lay off 5% of workforce as video game giant restructures. Yeah. Hollywood Reporter reported on that. I think that comes out to be about 200 employees. So, Definitely not good stuff there. War Within Alpha hit. None of us are WoW players, but I did get a little bit of a. There's something about there's a fucked up part of my brain, a real fucked up part of my brain. I want to find the social media post because the wording of it got me excited, and I don't know if it's because I have. Okay, here it is. Yeah. That on April 15th, World of Warcraft, at Warcraft on Twitter said, "The World Soul Saga begins. Beta signups are now open for the War Within." There's something about calling anything the start of like a saga where I was like, oh, that's kind of exciting. And I hate that my brain is like that. Because I was like, the FOMO hit where it's like, oh, shit, I need to jump in now. Like, I got to be there at those. Because it's never happened with Warcraft before. They've never referred to anything, and they made like a big deal about it at BlizzCon when they announced this, that like the World Soul Saga is something that they're doing. And I fucking hate that it worked on me, man, because goddamn, it worked.
Minok in my chat
Let's hear it.
Just said exactly what I was thinking.
Let's hear it.
That is, get marketed.
Yeah, no, it's fucking God. I am a mark for that, without question.
That is, I got two distinct different images. The first is of like a guy being like, yeah, we should say like something about a story, and then the other guy goes, no, wait, saga.
Dude, fuck, dude. If we're being honest with ourselves, we all have our things, and I think it's important for all of us to know those things. Like, anytime I'm like browsing, I do a lot of indie browsing on Steam, and people suggest games, and I'm like, psychological horror, you say? And that's like, bing! I'm like, all right, I am 75% more interested now. Because you said psychological horror, or you said surreal, or something like that. You say saga. It's like, well, I better be there at the beginning, or else I'm not going to know what's going on.
True. That's where my brain was at, man, and still is. Like, I got a little bit of like excitement from that, and everyone that's apparently in the alpha and the early commentary from all the alpha is that it is good. They're making the right steps. Granted, that's all the rating aspect of it and the class change aspect of it. So we'll just have to see where it comes in from, like the story thing, which is a really weird thing to say that you're playing WoW for the story, but it is the culmination of potentially, what Warcraft has been doing for 20 years, I guess. Is that how long that game's been out?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
A hot minute.
Yeah.
20 years in November. Wow.
God.
Wow.
Yeah, that all sucks. That whole thing sucks. It's all dog shit.
Burn it all down.
Just burn time down.
All of it.
Get it over with. with.
Yeah, I'm still reeling from that time that Macaulay Culkin tweeted like, "I'm 40. Want to feel old? I'm 40."
Yeah, that guy's an asshole for that. Yeah,
that was years ago, actually.
Yeah, I remember that. Am I getting the statue? No, they did announce the collector's edition. They didn't get me with the collector's edition for the War Within. It is also pretty expensive, isn't it? It's, at least for a WoW expansion, it was expensive. What was it? 180? Yeah, $180 for the collector's edition. Which, in the grand scheme of collector's editions these days, that's, I think, on the low end. But I guess for a WoW collector's edition, that's kind of high. But that's
someone threatened me the other day with a 100-month game of playing WoW retail WoW.
Yeah,
like
that's a dangerous
8
game.
hours, right?
That's a dangerous game to play, Zeke. You'll find yourself getting addicted.
I was just wondering, should I be scared? Should I be excited? Like,
I mean, retail WoW is in arguably the best place it's been in a pretty long time. So
it's a lot to learn, though, man.
It is a lot. Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Good luck. Because, I mean, I could very very easily see you getting addicted to that. Coming back and being a huge WoW fanboy.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's dangerous territory. Yeah. But it is a lot, as Cohh said. There's a lot to learn.
I mean, I haven't played like right before the Mists of Panda, whatever came out. That's
Mists of Pandaria. Yeah. That makes sense. Someone asked, are we going to talk about the Mike Ibarra quote? I saw that was for some reason a big thing. It was Mike Ibarra, who is former Blizzard executive. Yeah, he's president at Blizzard Entertainment and former VP at Microsoft. He had a tweet that went, I guess, viral and had a bunch of different headlines regarding he's in between jobs right now, so Twitter is his job, and he's just been making a lot of commentary on different aspects of the community. And I'm trying to find the exact tweet that this is around.
The tip thing.
Yeah, it was about tipping.
Okay.
Basically saying that like game developers should have some form of tipping when you buy a game is the short of it. I want to find his exact words so I don't misquote him, but I don't know. I looked at that and was just kind of like, what? What? Why is that
I mean, it seems to me like it comes off like pretty tone deaf. His heart's in the right place, it feels, but it's like not it's like my daddy always used to tell me, it's not what you said, it's how you said it.
Yeah. So here's the full tweet. I thought about this idea for a while as a player since I've been diving into single player games lately. When I beat a game, there are some that just leave me in awe of how amazing the experience was. At the end of the game, I've often thought I wish I could give these folks another $10 or $20 because it was worth more than my initial $70. They didn't try to nickel and dime me every second. Games like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Red Dead 2, BG3, Elden Ring, etc. I know $70 is already a lot, but it's an option at the end of the game I wish I had at times. Some games are that special. I know most will dislike this idea. By the way, I realize we are tired of tipping in everything else, but I view this different from a pressure to tip type scenario many face and give feedback on. And I think the response in chat from most people seeing this is kind of the general response that I saw around it of like, what the fuck?
I agree with what Zeke said. I think it's a cool and interesting idea, but I don't know if the implementation would even go through this route. So I like the idea of, if I have a phenomenal time in a game, being able to give a tip directly to the people who made that thing.
Right.
Especially if it was like a AAA game. Like I like that idea. I do. But I don't like the idea of obviously anything being mandatory. I don't like the idea of anything being DLC or but the premise of that, the idea of rewarding the people in the trenches, if you want to say that, is appealing.
Crunchers.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be able to like if I get to an end of a game and I'm freaking crying because of how amazing it is. It's like, dude, I wish I could just be like, hey, writer, here's $100, man. That was amazing. You deserve this, and please keep doing this. Send it along a note or something with it. Like if there was some kind of structured thing in place like that for game development, that'd be great.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I mean, isn't it like with?
Well, what I'm talking about is not that. Unfortunately, that's not what we're talking about. Like that's
with
not,
everything being on digital. Like I think like the best thing you can do is just buy another copy of the game and gift it to somebody, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have the other day I was at Starbucks. Okay, I got coffee or something like that, and when I went to like pay, on the screen they handed me my card back with one of those little readers, and it said like, would you like to tip? And I was greeted with that, and I was immediately like, I hate this whole I hate everything about this specific thing. And then I fucking hit 30%, And then I gave it back to him, and I was like, "You're not going to see any of that, are you?" And she just kind of smiled at me and handed me my drink. And I was like, God damn it. I just gave 30% to fucking Starbucks, not this person who just helped me out with my morning coffee. Like, that was the stupidest fucking thing. And that's exactly how I feel about this whole process, is that, like, that money would not go to the devs.
Either they get a percentage of it or they get nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you do 0 tip, they get 0.
Yeah.
But if you do like $1 tip, maybe they get 30 cents, 50 cents, whatever of it.
Yeah. I mean,
it sucks. It sucks all the way around. That's why, like, if you really want to make a difference, like, tip cash to the person themselves.
Yes, that's like it. Tipping is,
but
it's
do not forget to claim it on your taxes. Yeah.
It's such a bigger conversation outside of just games that, like, tipping culture is now replaced, like, paying your employees lower wages so that they earn more from tipping, and, like, fuck that. Like, no, pay your fucking employees what they should be paid so that tips don't have to exist. Like, that's the world that I want to live in.
Oh, wait a sec. Somebody may have just solved it in chat. We could just make onlydevs.com.
There you go. It would make sense.
Where you could get their sauciest code.
Hey man, I know a few streamers who make ends meet by doing stuff like that. I'm not
sauciest
trying to point any thumbs at anybody, but I know a couple.
Yeah. The other larger part of this whole conversation is it's such an American centric thing. Outside of the US, tipping is, like, not that.
Nope.
It's not commonplace. It's actually insulting in a lot of places to tip. So
dev in bio.
That's how they should respond. Yeah.
That's fucking beautiful.
Dude, I love
that. Yeah. So yeah, the whole statement from Mike Barr is just like, I don't know. I read that and it's like, okay, I'm gonna move on now. And a lot of people, I mean, that had 1.1 million views, which doesn't mean much because Twitter is mostly bots these days, but, still had a lot of conversation around it. Kind of a strange thing.
I mean, like, I just picture like you buy a product and then you're like, man, I really like this product. And you take the time to drive to the factory where they make the product. The people are actually making the product, like, on the conveyor belt, like, putting the pieces together, and you walk up and you're like, here's a $5.
Yeah.
Nice job. And they're like, thanks. I'm going to get back to work. Thank you.
Whole process is awkward without question. We only got an hour left. I'm going to say that we're good on news. If we missed anything, we'll cover it next week, because there are games that have come out that we have all been partaking in. I think the biggest one, at least on Twitch and kind of in our neck of the woods, is No Rest for the Wicked.
Yes.
I put 9 hours in. I will wait for 1.0. Cohh, I know you're a lot further in than I am. I don't know how many hours.
I am in.
You're in. In.
I am in.
Yes. I mean, my quick thoughts on it. It's everything I want in a video game, but it's very much an early access launch, and so I will wait for everything to be finished, and then I will play that game when it comes out. And that's, I have a nice PC, top of the line PC, because it's there for my job. I did not run into performance issues. I think that's, game's currently sitting at 64% positive, so it's mixed on Steam. The majority of those issues that people are having is performance based. And then also people just bouncing
performance issues.
Yeah, people just bouncing off the actual, like, gameplay loop. But we can get into that in just a sec. But for me, game is drop dead gorgeous. I love everything about the, like, Souls aspect of it. I love the combat aspect of it. I'm in. I will just be waiting for kind of 1.0. And that's where I'm at. So again, I only have 8.5 hours or 9 hours in it, but I'm in. They sold me. And also, for what it's worth, I was sponsored, and I think Cohh was as well, before we kind of jump into it. So yeah, Cohh, you're what, 20? You've been playing a lot. You're like 20 hours in?
like 15-ish, I want to say 15 or so hours in.
Okay.
And it's been phenomenal. Like I really appreciate how this game amalgamates a lot of different genre mechanics into one package, and it delivers it in the form of a very, very well voice acted and well animated and graphically impressive framework. So it's what I've been saying, and I'll go ahead and say this again. I knew this in the demo, but I solidified it with this. I'm gonna take a guess, an early guess, and say that I think that this game is going to be to the Souls-like ARPG genre, whatever we come up with the name of for this.
Yeah.
It is going to be to that what Hades is to roguelikes. Like it is that good. And once it is 1.0, I think it is going to be like that big of a thing.
Sure.
Give me just 1 second. So it is it's looking really good. It is beautiful. The graphics are super impressive. The combat and animations and the feel of it is phenomenal. The itemization is super cool. It's doing so many things well and interesting that it's just been a joy to play. And the devs are also being super receptive to community feedback on their Discord. They're also being very big on Twitter about like getting feedback through polls and different things. We have 2 hotfixes out already.
Yeah, the patch notes are pretty big for it already, right?
Yep. Yep. It is still, of course, early access. There are major performance issues. You can't rebind keys. There's some major missing QOL and, like things, you can't sort your inventory and things don't stack. Just stuff that's going to come with early access development that needs to get in the game. All that is very much here. But what is here is also really impressive. Like I was saying, the cutscenes, they rival Arcane.
They're incredible.
I would watch an entire Netflix show of that exact animation type.
Yes.
And be totally fine with it.
Dude, I said the exact same thing, and hearing it from someone else is like, no fucking way. But no, it actually does rival Arcane.
Oh, absolutely. Completely. The way,
it's very good. I'll try to find some.
At one point, one of the characters was listening, and you could see the corner of their lip twitch when they heard a specific word, and their other side of their eye, like at the same time. It was like, twitch. And I was just like, this is animated? Like it's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
I would give me just 1 second. My son just stopped by and he's patiently waiting for me.
Okay, yeah.
But please continue. I'll be right back.
Sure. It is remarkable. Zeke, have you touched this game at all? Have you?
No, I haven't.
Are you waiting for 1.0 or?
Now I am. Yes. Originally, like I'm doing this whole 10th anniversary month, so like everything is on hold right now. I'm not doing a bunch of new shit. But it definitely, since it's the Ori dev, so I'm definitely intrigued and interested in playing it. But with all the early access issues that I'm hearing it's having, it's like it seems like it's just fine to wait for it. Like I'm fine to wait for it to work that shit out. Especially since man, those Ori guys built up a ton of goodwill, and to have a game from them get mixed reviews, that was a huge misstep that happened then.
Yeah. I mean, performance is definitely the biggest thing for a lot of people. I think a lot of people also bounced off of. There was this idea of mismarketing the game. I would love to have. I'll bring this back up when Cohh sits down. But I think they marketed the game, or a lot of people had the impression. I don't know if they marketed the game as a ARPG, when it's not really an ARPG by what I think that means in most circles, such as Diablo 4 Path of Exile. Right. So they were expecting that style of game because the devs call it an ARPG. But at the same time, Elden Ring is also an ARPG. It's an action adventure role-playing game. Right.
Yeah. So Zelda.
Yeah. It's hard to have that conversation because it just comes down to nomenclature and genres. And that's so much, I think, more difficult in media across all types, TV, whatever, because so much of media these days is not one specific thing. And this game very much is a lot of different things. It is an ARPG, but it's also a Souls style ARPG with storytelling and like very well done cutscenes. Like it's weird. It's unique in that regard. And so that is where I think a lot of the mixed reviews came from, was just like them saying one thing, but not defining what they mean, I guess. Yeah. We're talking about the fact that it was called like an ARPG, and that subverted expectations for a lot of people, and how that was kind of where a lot of the mixed reviews, I think, are coming from people, because people play it, jump in, and then die to the fucking first mob they find, and are like, why can I not kill a singular mob?
Real quick, just getting back to a different point, as far as like, I saw people bring up the fact like it's early access, so like mixed reviews are like expected or whatever. Like, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if like when you release a game into the public, like you don't ever expect nor want mixed reviews or low reviews or something like that, right? When you release it, don't you expect like it to be received well?
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I think it no matter what you do when you release an early access on Steam, it just creates the bottom line. It creates where you're going to go from here, or where you hope to go from here. So like, if you start at the tip top, then the story becomes, oh, well, what happens if they misstep? Why did they drop to mixed, right? And if you start at mixed, hopefully the story is a year from now or 2 years from now when this game hits 1.0, it's like, oh, well, what changed for this game to go from mixed to very positive, right? It's just the storyline that people look for there, and gets painted a lot of these days.
Yeah. And for a single player game like this, like, it seems like
will be multiplayer.
Like, I never want to play it in early access. Like, I never want to play a single player experience that they are not prepared to put out as 1.0, because I want it to be the best it could possibly be before, because a game like this seems to hinge on like performance and story and beauty and all of the things wrapped into one experience, right? Yeah. And if it's not exactly right, it seems like watching a movie in early access to me. It's like, I don't want to see a movie in early access.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it would be the same as you could say, like, if you got early access to Elden Ring, but it was like not a marketing early access, and it was like proper early access, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of what this is. But I'm also glad that they're doing it, because I do think that, I think that there's a sense of uncertainty from them on a lot of their systems, that they're not 100% going one way or the other, because they don't know what the best way is out of the gate, and that they're hoping to get feedback for what players want. And I think they have gotten that feedback already for a lot of the issues, because you can tell like some of the things that they're doing is a little half-baked. And that might sound super negative, but like they're not fully fleshed out yet. I think their itemization is like cool, but I don't know if I would say it's good. Sorry, Cohh. There you go. You're unmuted.
Oh, yeah. I've been muted for a while.
Sorry about that. Sorry. I was
wondering why I was having such a good time today.
It's fine. No, I was just hanging out, playing No Rest for the Wicked.
Yeah. Yeah. No, jump in.
No, I was going to say you're absolutely, like, I agree with everything you've been saying. And the dev was actually tweeting out like questions on specific mechanics, like which I think he's done a couple times, but like just a bit ago, he was saying, if right now the item stack max is 20, we want that to be 99. Should we have that be something you unlock through a progression, or should we just change default stack size to 99? What do you think, and why? And then he put up a poll. I replied to it, as well as thousands of other people. And we're already, I don't know if we've seen changes yet, but I'm sure, that's something they're already thinking about. So they, also in the changes already, the hot fixes, there have not only been fixes and technical adjustments, but also changes like that are based on feedback directly already, which has been awesome. So it bodes very well. But to talk about the Steam thing real quick.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I feel like there needs to be a different word for it, because people have asked me many times, like, hey, Cohh, you seem to be loving this game. I'm like, yes. They're like, well, what do you think of it? I'm like, I think this game's phenomenal. It's great. Okay, well, then what do you think about this 57 mixed review on Steam? Like, what about this? And I was like, yeah, it's totally justified. Completely, 100%. And they're like, well, what's going on? And then that begins a whole different discussion. But the thing is that, like, Steam reviews are not reviews. They're not reviews. A review is, an entire big thing, laying out the product, telling you about it, giving, that's a review. Steam reviews are very quick, small, up-down votes. They're notifications. They're something completely different. And the thing is if your game has glaring flaws, like performance issues or unbindable keys, those are huge, giant, immediate red flags that every consumer should know about. Like, completely. Those are two giant missing things from No Rest for the Wicked that absolutely...
I'm sorry, say that again. I'm sorry. What did you say? Did you say unbindable keys? What fucking year are we in? What fucking year are we in? What year are we in?
Well, here's the thing. And this is important. This is important. Sometimes you go, okay, it's early access. We'll get key binding in later. Whatever. Here, go buy our product. That's fine. The problem is that binding keys is not like just a little thing. Binding keys is 100% an accessibility feature that will literally prevent the people buying your game from playing it in many cases. So it's not a little thing, which deserves a giant downvote, which is exactly why they're getting that. Yeah. So does it deserve mix on Steam? It absolutely does, because there are glaring issues in the early access that you need to know about before you buy this product, which is why it's mixed. That being said, if those don't apply to you, I don't need to rebuy my keys. And I have a rig that runs an NASA supercomputer. So for me, this is a 9 of 10, awesome. I'm loving it. This is great. Like, I'm having a phenomenal time. I'm just farming in it because I'm enjoying playing it so much kind of game. But there's also people who just can't even play it because of the performance issues, or can't play it because they can't rebind and things like that. And, that's why it's justified. So, yeah. And again, that's why it's not a review score. Like, it's so weird to call them reviews, because that's not really a review of the product in any way. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
but
it's not.
Okay, but let's not discount them.
It's like
you can't discount them like
score.
completely. Like, outside of review bombing, like take those examples out, because sometimes that does happen. Things get review bombed for whatever reason.
Sure,
but take those examples out. There's a reason why, like, things are mixed. Yeah, like every time there's. Like I said, outside of review bombing, there's a reason why it gets mixed reviews, negative reviews, something like that. Like, it's something to pay attention to, but not you don't necessarily need to take it all the way to heart and say, like, oh, this game sucks because it has mixed reviews. Because I've definitely, like, spent a lot of time playing awesome mixed reviews games.
Yeah,
but you gotta know why it's mixed. Yeah.
By the way, and just to clear this up, I'm seen some stuff in chat. I don't think I made my point clear. People are trying to say that I'm not saying that they're important because they're not reviews. I'm trying to argue Steam reviews should not be called reviews, because they are far more important than reviews. This is stuff you need to know before you even buy the product. If it's going to even run on your computer, if you're going to be even able to play it, that is stuff that you need to know before you buy it. So I'm not trying to say that Steam reviews don't have their place. I'm saying they shouldn't be called reviews. Like, how good the product is should be something separate. Steam reviews should be like, you need to know this before you buy this product, because that's what generally goes in that section, which is independent from how good the product is.
Yeah, and just had a brilliant idea.
Like, that's the point I'm trying to make. It's too weird under all one umbrella.
Yeah, I agree.
Have those like those Twitter community notes. If it has like mixed or overwhelmingly negative or something like that, like have like Steam community notes saying like the reason why this is marked as mixed is because unbindable keys, or like something that the community all agrees on.
That's kind of an interesting idea, where at the very top of Steam reviews, it would be like positive people say these trend things. So this is what the positive things are being said. Negative people are saying these trend things, bad controls, performance issues. Like having that at the top of all Steam review sections would be amazing. If people could like actually tag their reviews and you can see like where these tags are adding up and where the actual problems are. Oh man. Woo. Oh wait, did they already do that? Somebody just said they already have. No. No. That's something different. I'm sorry. That's something different. Okay. Yeah, that would be cool. I that would give a lot more control over the system and make it a lot more useful, I think.
Yeah, I think they're all totally sound ideas. I think Steam will never do that. Just because like Steam
That's a really good point. Yeah. No, that's a great point.
Like they're so
could have thought about that, honestly.
They're so reluctant to just even moderate anything on that platform. Going and taking an evolution of that, I feel like is so not what Steam has ever done. I hope they do, but yeah, it would be very, very surprising. And I do agree that like it's weird to even call them reviews. I think most people say Steam reviews, and that comes with its own. Yeah,
I mean, it's literally what they're called.
Just them being called Steam reviews. They're not reviews; they're Steam reviews. If that makes sense. At least in my...
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's in my mind, that's where it's at.
Separating the word review from the classical meaning and giving it the definition of that term.
Yeah. Because
it's more, honestly makes sense.
It's more like customer sentiment. It's
like a title.
Yeah. It's a weird thing for sure. And hopefully there is an evolution there, but I just don't ever see Steam doing that, unfortunately.
Yeah. They don't need to. It wouldn't make them any money, you know.
I'll tell you this: if games get like mixed reviews or lower or something like that, I'm always more intrigued. Like, well, let's see if the reason why it's mixed is because of something that I might like.
Sure. You basically you that is the exact person that clicks on clickbait. You're like, what's why is this mixed? What's the tea here?
I mean, I'm the same I'd be things, the same neurons that fire for me when I read World Soul Saga. Zeke gets when he reads mixed review.
There it is, right there. There it is.
No, I'm a big fan of like I'll say, mixed reviews. Let's see why it's mixed, but also let's see the top downvotes and see how good they are. Like this game has a 2-word review. Shit sandwich.
Fun. Yeah. They're fun.
I love those.
Cohh, since you've played a lot more and seen, I would suspect, more than the first boss. I only saw 2 bosses. Okay.
I've finished the main story.
Oh, okay. How long did that take roughly?
Well, I mean, the main story of the EA.
Yeah.
It took me about 15 hours, but I did a lot of side farming. So I certainly was not rushing it. And it's also very important to mention that when you kill, and this, I wouldn't really call this a spoiler, but when you finish the EA available content, which is not the end of the main story, obviously there's a ton more to go. It doesn't even start really.
It's like chapter 1, right?
I mean, the main story is barely beginning to pick up, and then it cuts off.
Got it.
I mean, it's an early access. They told you not to expect much there, but I mean, it's still interesting stuff. But once that section ends, there's an end game that kind of opens up, which is very interesting. That I did not expect, and that is going like I thought that once I finished the story stuff, it's like cool, okay, done until next patch update 1.0, made whatever. But now that the end thing opened up, the end game portion. I did a little bit of it. Things were dropping like 4 levels above me and everything was kicking my ass. And now I'm like, well, I guess now I got to go farm 4 levels. And now I'm kind of like completely back in. And now I'm kind of like looking at the next tier of weapons and what I'm going to need to do to get there in terms of stats. And so it's been very cool. It's been very cool. And the thing about the whole meta progression that's so much fun is that the base game really carries it so well. Everything really clicks in the way that they're doing it, and even farming is really enjoyable. So it's been great. It's been great. I unfortunately I did not think I was going to be putting Rise of the Ronin on the side. I was hoping to kind of do some more split streams at this point, but I've just been full into this, and I've been really loving it.
The thing I wanted to ask, and on some of the other bosses, and it kind of goes out the window when I think you're fighting multiple mobs, which on the harder difficulty, it seems like that's kind of always commonplace where you're fighting more than 2 mobs at once. At least in the gameplay that I saw you playing earlier today, right before the show. In the boss fights, the 2 that I fought were, I wouldn't say, it's weird because I want to compare it to Dark Souls, but this is like not a Souls game, but it kind of is a Souls game, so I'm going to do it anyways. Most of the boss fights...
It's more Soulsy than Diablo-y, I'll say that.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. The cadence of the boss fight was like, attack, make sure you have enough stamina for at least 1 dodge away, wait for it to go back up, attack, dodge away, and it was that. Like, that, I didn't have struggles with the boss. Does that change? Does the cadence of the boss fights, like, ever change from that as you were playing?
Not incredibly.
Okay.
It is the kind of thing where I think they're going for exactly what you just said, because what you just said, I think in a lot of ways encapsulate that Souls-like feeling, where you have to kind of feel out your enemy's moveset. You need to find your openings. You need to plan how you're going to dodge through the moves to get to those openings, and then how you're going to exploit them. Standard Souls-like formula.
Sure.
And I think that that's what they're going for in this. So I'm guessing that most bosses are going to be a lot of that. There are more tricks, and of course, the bosses have some gimmicks.
Okay, that's good. That's
like any good Souls-like.
Yeah.
But most of the fighting in this game and most of the enemies are going to be, from what I've seen, mostly that way.
Okay. How many bosses have you run into off the top of your head?
I think in this there are 3 major ones. I think there's a couple optional ones, like some weeklies and some kind of, there are some very hard enemies that may not be bosses, but
yeah.
I think in terms of like iconic singular characters, I want to say there's 3. But again, I'm still exploring it, and there may be more than that.
Would you say that
lots of different enemies? Enemy variety's been really good.
Yes, yeah, that's kind of my next question. Would you say that you've had more difficulty against normal enemies, particularly groups, than bosses themselves?
Some of them.
Okay.
It kind of depends on where the enemies are and what the enemy is. Some basic enemies have much more aggressive movesets or more aggressive moves in general. Like there's a few enemies that have moves where they launch themselves towards you for huge amounts of damage, or they have moves that will stun you into a much larger hit. And that stuff, especially for my build, which is a low armor, low health build, that's pretty painful.
So wait, what's the positive?
Yeah.
Zeke went with the direct there. I was going with, yes. So what's good about your build?
Yes. I'm focusing on strength and dex primarily, with a little bit of my build's all over the place. It's a mess. And but yeah, and the problem is there's no respecking. So which I did not think was the case at the beginning. So yeah, my build's a complete mess.
Gotcha.
And I'm trying to keep light most of the time, so it's been a thing. But yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Are you finding a lot of different weapon types? I've found, I guess, a decent amount, like bows, their staffs. You can kind of go, what you would expect in Dark Souls. It seems kind of all over the place.
Decent amount. It looks like we're going to have one hand. We're going to have some casting, some archery, shields, one hands, 2 hands, and I think that's about it. I haven't seen any exotics. I haven't seen any like nunchucks or flails or any. I haven't seen anything.
I know
like
that there's like boss items. Did you see any of those?
I've seen some gold items.
Okay, yeah, those are
I got
uniques,
today, and I found this very interesting. I found a rapier today. It was a casting rapier. So the 2 stats that a rapier was using were int and faith. Which I thought was really interesting. So it was a T3 rapier that was int and faith. And I remember going, this doesn't make any sense. Why does a rapier use int and faith? How does this not use dex? Blah, 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 blah. And then not half an hour later, another rapier dropped. And it was dex faith, not int. And what I realized was that specific unique rapier had a different stat requirement, which is really interesting. So, I mean, talk about like different uniques for different builds kind of stuff. That's literally a caster rapier. Wouldn't even work for a dex build.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And it makes me wonder like how far they're going to go with that kind of stuff. And Are we going to see like sets and set bonuses and that's been really interesting. So
the itemization's pretty unique because the way that the blue items work just like a rare item would in any other game. There's no downside, but the next evolution is purple items.
Plagued.
And those are plagued items. And so it's 4 stats, generally 4 really good stats, if you roll well, I guess. 4 chances, let's go with it. Really good stat.
Yes.
And then 1 chance, one negative stat.
1 guaranteed negative.
Yeah, and some of those suck.
Some of them are like build breaking, or character breaking. Yeah,
like they range from like lose gold on death, lose XP on hit, lose stamina on hit, just things that you wouldn't want to have on your character.
I mean,
at the same time,
easy solution, get good.
True, 100%
valid, totally valid.
The game.
Oh yeah. So, or you could be like me, by the way, quick little story, and die about 15 times in the end zone going, man, I had no idea that they have an XP penalty on death, watching my XP bar go down every time, checking my equipment. No, none of them have the XP loss on death. No. I didn't realize that when I socketed a diamond into a piece of armor, that it actually added the effect, lose XP on death, which you don't lose normally when you die.
Oh,
and so I lost like a level about just throwing myself at content that was way out of my league.
Wait,
that I
can you de-level?
Clearly need to. I don't think I de-leveled.
Oh, you just.
But I was like leveling and de-leveling and leveling and de-leveling, and So just keep in mind that might be a thing in your own playthrough.
yeah. I mean,
we all have to learn. Learning together.
Kind of like that. Is someone
the reason I say that's a downside you can get on the armor.
Yes.
On plagued armor, that exact same downside exists, and it is nasty.
Yeah. Cohh, someone who died a lot, me self-admitting to the sprint and fall damage. How often was it for you? Because sometimes I got. It's not a good idea to just constantly run everywhere.
No, they very much punish you for that. Yes. And the thing here's the thing, and this is one of those design things that I love about early access, because I can almost guarantee you this will change a lot over the course of this. Right now, if you sprint towards a climbable ledge, you will jump over it instead of grab it. If you don't have a target locked and you dash, it will just go right off the side. If you're running at full bore at a sprint, again, and just happen to like, there's lots of little things little tiny things, not big things, little tiny things they can change to make the whole traveling system a lot more intuitive. I have thrown myself off many a ledge by accident.
Okay.
I have many times. And another big thing and a big problem is the way the game is set up currently is that you have to tap A, or at least hold A. You have to interact with A at some points to pull up on a ledge. But the game doesn't give you any indicator on if you are standing at one of those ledges. And there are many ledges in the game that are like half height or 3/4 height, and you can't pull up on. But then if you try to do that, you will then dodge off it.
Yeah.
and that's really tough, because the devs also put in a lot of rafter puzzles and hidden stuff around ledges, and they put you in a lot of positions where it's kind of like you're forced to test for that. And that's not fun if you're wrong. Like, that's just, it just feels terrible if you're wrong. It's like, if you're wrong, it shouldn't throw you off the side of the cliff. Maybe there's some middle ground there.
Yeah.
Instead of instant death.
I agree.
But yeah, so I feel like that's the kind of stuff that's going to come with time. And that's the kind of stuff that they'll figure out.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah. And then I guess we can move on right after this. The other big thing that a lot of people were adding to the reviews is the durability system. And a lot of people just are not
Yes.
Turns out a lot of people hate durability systems in this day and age, which shocker, that one.
Yeah.
So they've actually patched that twice and upped the base durability on most items, right, Cohh? But it still exists.
Yes. They super upped the durability on harvesting items, which was a great call. And they made repair powder drop more frequently. And I think they did even more tweaking last night as well. They're hotfixing frequently. The short of it is, not only are they open about this, but their words are matching their actions when I say that they clearly are working on that system and they don't yet have an idea where they want it to be.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of thing where if you are playing and enjoying this game, give feedback loudly on what you like and don't like, because they're clearly like, what do you want? Because we'll do it. Like, you just tell us, what do you want? Like, they're making sweeping changes, and they're doing that based on what people are telling them. So the durability system in its right now is mostly a non-issue for two main reasons. One, you can just carry a weapon around that has a repair thing for focus, and you can just hit some enemies, get some energy, focus, repair your stuff. Awesome. It's free. It's easy. You want to do that? You can do that. And then on top of that, the powder is dropping a lot more frequently as well. And the powder is not only dropping at every tier, but the powder is something that will repair all of your gear quickly and easily, pretty much the second you get it. And now with the drop rates being as high as they are, again, it's become a lot less of an issue. So
that's good.
So help me with this.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
What is from a game dev standpoint, if you can put yourself in those shoes, like, what is the game dev standpoint on, like, items that need repairing? Like, what durability?
On durability systems?
Yeah. I'm honestly asking, I'm not trying to be a shit, but sometimes it's terrible and I hate it, and sometimes it's just annoying, but it's never, been really satisfying.
So here's the thing. You're asking, like, there's certain golden questions in gaming. Like, how do you have casual and hardcore MMO players enjoy an MMO? Like, there's certain golden questions. That's one of them. And it ties into, how do you make a system that generates friction? Things the player won't like, but are also something that are rewarding and fun to have in the game. And that's what a durability system is. So in this case, their durability system is tied directly into the death system. When you die, you lose durability. So that's kind of like the penalty there. And then the thinking there is that durability would then become a resource sink. So that is a sink for the game, and also a reason that you wouldn't want to die. You don't want to lose resources. So the problem is that by doing that, and then making it very easy to repair and manage, that throws off the whole death thing. So now we have to figure out, like, how to make that a meaningful experience to want to avoid. That, again, is not something that the player is going to completely hate, but it's still going to sting a little bit. So yeah, there's it's not a stupid question at all what you're asking, Zeke, because it's a question that gets asked and answered every single game like this, and nobody's really figured out the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it also solves a lot of problems when you have, like, a currency system in a game. It gives a little bit of a constant drain on your resources, like Cohh was saying, to create friction. And so that whenever I see a durability system, I'm thinking, like, oh, that's because they want to drain on your resources so that there's something pulling from that pile, so you can't just always have wealth, as it were.
Yeah. There is a durability system that someone brought up that I kind of appreciated for the fact that it was, well, okay, Lies of P, how you have to do the,
I was going to jokingly say Zelda. You really liked Breath of the Wild.
I really loved it. I'm sorry. All these years I've been shitting on it. I'm sorry. I'm lying. I'm hate farming. I actually love Zelda. No, Lies of P, because it seemed more like it was like a bar you had to fill up before you go to a fight, and if you forget, it's your own fault. Like, or if you like, you have to manage that into a fight. Like, I know this weapon has a possibility of breaking during the fight, so I have to find a spot strategically to sharpen it back up and get back in the fight. Because it's not like I have to stop what I'm doing, go back, fix, blah, 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 blah. It's like in the middle of the action, you're like, okay, shit, the boss is paused. Okay, I'm ready to go again. Like it factored into the strategy, which I kind of dug.
Yeah, it's very kind of Monster Hunter-y.
Sure, and that's a reference I don't have because I didn't play a lot of Monster Hunter.
Ever. For me, that's just the same type system. But yeah, it is. You're right, where it like factors into the second-to-second gameplay decision against a boss. And it can also
I don't mind it if it's like a strategic thing, but like in the middle of a battle, I can tell you're like, ha, ha. I guess I die. Well, I guess you just kill me.
Even the game, and No Rest for the Wicked when it comes to resource gathering, because you're actually supposed to go and like chop down trees and mine ore and do different things like that. And the way that every hit on a tree or every pick at a mine hits the durability on the item. So I'll walk up to a tree and it has a life bar, and I'll hit it 4 times when it requires 6, and my pickaxe will break. And I'm just like, well, what the fuck, man? What are we fucking doing here? Let me at least get the item. Break after I get the item. Don't break 2 hits away. Like it's the worst feeling.
I've always been a fan, and I think they do it. They do it in a lot of gathering games, but the one most recently in memory is Once Human. Like you get every swing 10 wood, 10 wood, 10, and then if it breaks, you're like, hit, I still get most of the wood from every hit that I did. It's not like all at once.
Yeah,
I think that's a better way to do it.
yeah. It just the immediate feeling of being 1 tick away after hitting 7 times or whatever it is in game, and then having your thing break. It's like it's soul crushing. I don't like it. There's no. Just doesn't.
I got a question.
Good.
Is there any?
Yeah, it hurts.
Is there any?
It's like a soul. It's like. Hurts. Oh God, I gotta go take I need to go to the doctor.
Yep. It's pain. Actual pain.
Is there any game out there that does something to the effect of like weapon durability goes down, you repair it, but maybe the weapon itself has like an XP bar, like every time you repair it, the weapon gets closer to getting even better and better every time you repair it. So you have to use it. And then when you repair it, it gets a little bit of XP on the weapon, so it becomes like in D&D terms, like a +1.
I don't know if
I mean, the idea of weapons leveling is definitely pretty prevalent. There's some entire games
that would be a great reward for durability, leveling. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Or the more that like you hone the weapon, it gets better or something.
Mm-hmm. That's lore wise, story wise. That's how you could justify it. It's like. You're sharpening it every time you get better and better at it, so the blade gets better, whatever.
Yeah. There's so many systems for it that it's like Cohh said, it's been one of the golden. How'd you refer to it? Golden problems, golden.
One of the golden questions.
Questions. That's what it was. Yeah. Of game development when it comes to durability systems. So. Yeah, that's definitely a big point of conversation. But the recent patches, as Cohh stated, have alleviated a lot of those issues because they've made the durability on items a lot higher. So it's less of a problem.
And I'm sure they'll keep it.
And I know
it's got a lot of work.
People out there like I had the same like mental struggle. Like that doesn't make sense from a physics standpoint. Yeah, but magic,
video games.
Oh yeah, because it's a game. It's a game.
It's a game. It's a game.
Yep,
exactly. We got 15 minutes. I'm trying to think what else everyone's been playing. Cohh, Rise of Ronin, we haven't talked about it at all. Like what I've heard it's this game has for me the Days Gone effect where people are kind of bouncing off of it, but then people that stay with it are like, no, this game's actually like really fucking good. Is that accurate?
Game's really good.
Yeah.
Game's really good. Dude, it's Neo.
Just through and through.
It's basically Neo a bit more streamlined with a nice flavoring of Sekiro in a semi-open world Edo era Japan. and it's great. It's real good. It feels like Neo. It has a very rewarding area completion, zone completion system. Lots of fun side stuff to do. It all is much more cohesive than Neo, which is kind of a nice change for that franchise, I would say. And for the record, for those that don't know, they have officially said that they are done with Neo.
Studio said,
it's done. Nope. They said no more Neo.
Oh,
We're
wow.
done. So this is the new Neo. This is Neo 3, or what it would have been. This is what that project would have been. And it's great. Like, I love the fact that they're doing this kind of newer spin on it. There are some things about some of the combat systems I don't like. And I hope they shy away from some of the paths they're going down. But the large majority of it, and the game overall, is fantastic. And I'm looking forward to returning to it whenever I do. I got a lot of hours into it. I started it just expecting to do the main story. And now, 20-ish hours in, I have almost completed every single thing there is to do in the entire first region.
Oh.
So, yeah. And I completely have forgotten the main story existed. So it's been really cool. Really cool.
That guy just fucked you up.
Oh, dude. There was one boss that killed me probably 50 times.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. This game is not super easy.
Okay. Are there
it's a huge amount of fun.
Is it just one difficulty or are there multiple? Do you get to choose?
It is. I don't remember.
Okay.
Actually, I don't remember with this one. That will have to. There are 3 difficulties. Okay, I think we're on the hardest. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but
is there a giant sword?
Oh yeah, there's multiple giant swords. There's great swords. There's odachis. There's spears.
I think JP is talking about like a sword that's way too big for you to swing normally. Like in physics.
The great swords. The great swords. The American style great swords are gigantic. They're huge.
Okay.
They call them American style.
No. I just mean they also have giant. Yeah, they have giant curved great swords, but they also have the kind giant straight great swords.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Not American style. I should say. What's a better European style? Maybe?
Oh, someone in chat. Someone in chat.
There's a much better name for that.
Knows exactly how to crush my hope. The giant weapons won't allow JP to steamroll mobs like he wants. Is that true, Cohh? Lie to me and say that it is.
Okay. So here's the thing. This system is. This is where I was talking about earlier. How there's a bit of Sekiro in here. So this one is much more a give-take style combat. This is not necessarily an overwhelm your enemy style combat. Because there will get to a point with most enemies. Now, you can overwhelm them. It absolutely can happen. But more often than not, even with heavy weapons, at least for me, I didn't do some kind of perfect stamina destruction build or whatever. You can maybe be able to finagle something. But for a normal player, my heavy weapons were, even with the strongest attacks, give-take. And what I mean by that is the enemy will get to a point where they will just start attacking through your attacks. You have to be defensive or you will take damage. You can't just spam attacks.
Someone in your chat, someone in JP's chat, I think put it correctly. You don't attack in this game, you punish.
Yeah, that's a very good way to look at it too. You can also do that through dodging if you don't want to do parrying or anything. There's an extensive parry system as well. So it's very much a nice in that. Now, of course, you have all of your fun Neo-esque systems in there as well. And that is where it tries to kind of start going into its own flavor with this thing called the stance system. And what that is you have weapons, and then each weapon has 3 slots, and those slots can have stances. And the stances are things you unlock in side quests, you unlock through the main story. And the stances have different moves in them and also affect the weapon in different ways statistically and also have different stats that scale on them, which I hate. One of the things I really don't like about the whole system. But so not only do you have this stance system that has the moves and stat adjustments to the weapon types, but on top of that, they have different advantages and disadvantages versus other weapon types. So every time you look at an enemy, there's a little indicator to the right that says either 2 blue arrows up, gray equal sign, or 2 red arrows down. And what that means is that is what their weapon type is to your stance. So you may have to switch stances. It's not nearly as complicated as I'm making it
so
sound.
Is it kind of rock, paper, scissory then?
Yes, it's very rock, paper, scissorsy, but the thing that's weird about it is it also decides what moves you have. So there's this kind of weird, it's wrestling with the game mechanics are kind of wrestling with themselves in some ways. So it replaced the Neo stance system.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sold yet on if it's found its kind of end voice. I think it needs a little bit more work, I think, in terms of like how it fits into the whole rest of the systems that are still very much there. Like the equipment system is there, and all the moves feel similar, all the combat feels similar. So yeah,
cool.
A little bit weird there, but everything else is great.
Okay. You're going to continue playing that, yeah? You're not.
I am definitely planning to return to it at some point. I'm just in this little no rest for the wicked hole right now, and it's cozy in here, so I'll probably be in here maybe for a little bit longer. But Rise of the Ronin is on the list to return to.
Yeah, makes sense. What time is it? We got. I want to pitch this as a pitch to Zeke. I don't know if you've played Planet Crafter at all. Did you touch that?
I have not yet.
Okay, yeah. So Planet Crafter it's survival game. Zeke, you've been big into these recently, so I want to continue to feed your addiction. This is a survival game where the main goal is to terraform a planet. So you start with this number here in the top right at 0, and then that number changes over time to thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, billions, trillions, as the whatever happens on the planet. So like you basically land on Mars, and at a certain point it becomes a blue sky because you terraformed enough by putting enough of X, Y, or Z on the planet, and that increased the X, Y, or Z on the planet. And then once that is done, it goes to like, well, now you need to get air. So you got to go and plant grass outside. And so you go and plant grass.
This looks super Subnautica from what I'm seeing right now.
It is a very Subnautica looking
in some ways.
Yeah. But it plays, it doesn't really play like any other survival game because the grand goal is to terraform the planet. And once you finish a tech tree, it starts a new tech tree. So it's like you finished heat, CO2, whatever. Now you need to start the bugs. Because if you start bugs, then that starts life. And then if you start life, that starts fish. And then if you start fish, that starts bigger predator. And like it just constantly continues to build on itself.
So you're not just terraforming, you're creating an entire ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's,
I guess that's kind of what terraforming is, I suppose.
Yeah, basically.
So does it have an end goal, like an ending?
Yes, it hit 1.0. 1.0 launched this past
No. I mean the game.
Yeah, that's what I think 1.0 came with that, the end. The end.
Cool.
The story is basically you are, and it's they don't like, you find it through like data pads and whatnot. So it's not a super big deal. Basically.
Is there an actual story like in the game, or is it more of just like a Terraria style?
Yeah. You're a prisoner sent to a planet, sent to terraform it, and you got to build a rocket to get off the planet. I think is the short of the story.
Short and sweet. Awesome.
Yeah. Like I don't think that, and
I like it.
Dig it.
Towards the end, it becomes, I don't want to say became, but it becomes a little satisfactory from what everyone was telling me, where there's like automation. So it's like drones bringing things to different outposts. And the other thing too is we had like, I had like the main base, quote unquote main base in the beginning of the game. The game is more about having outposts than like main bases, at least initially. So I was playing multiplayer with Gassy and Bruce Green, and they kind of went and built their own things to get some of the rare resources. And then because of that, we could like push down the tech tree, because the way that things unlock in the tech tree is by increasing the number in the top right. So as you add more heaters to the world or more solar power to the world or whatever, it starts unlocking more and more things. And so that's kind of the evolution. But it's very much a grindy game. There is zero combat. in the game. It is all, just collecting things and growing things and pushing things to the next evolution, as it were. I never went out of the space in this clip for some reason. There's a lot of exploration, it's not a procedural world. It's handcrafted. So everything's set in stone. Everyone plays on the same map. But yeah, I think it could be your next like survival game kick for offline.
Someone tell me there's no enemies at all.
Yeah, there's no fighting. No fighting. No enemies. You just
see, grind. And that like a lot of people like what makes for a nice chill environment. For me, like it takes away a little bit of the fear and urgency, and like like in Subnautica, like you don't really fight a lot. You run away a lot, but like at least there's something there to be like
the tension.
Oh God, please don't come out. I love that. I relish that.
Yeah, the tension in this game is at least initially where I'm at. We played 7 hours and didn't create oxygen in the atmosphere yet. But oxygen is the main tension builder. It's like, do I have enough oxygen to get from point A to point B?
Oh, that's good then. That is, at least it has something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I definitely want, some form of like, you can die. There is danger.
Yeah, you got to have oxygen to run around until you eventually, terraform the planet enough to where there's oxygen. And then
basically there are threats.
Yeah, there are threats.
It is not just a sandbox that you get to run around in and just
do
whatever.
Now I know you've only played a little bit of it, but can you make threats? Like you said, like you introduce bugs and such. Like can you mutate those bugs so they come in to attack you?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know there's like butterflies and stuff that you create, but I don't know if you create anything that like straight up attacks you. I don't think there's like flesh-eating butterflies at the game.
Not yet. See,
not yet.
I love like
it's still early.
My first thing was like, can you make shit that comes attack you?
Yeah.
You can make butterflies. Like, that was your response. Like not even close to where I was headed with that, but
I haven't gotten to that stage of the game yet. It's very grindy. It is a very grindy game. Like you are producing.
You play it solo?
Yes, you can play completely solo.
Yeah.
You are producing a ton of shit in this, and that's kind of the goal, is to just constantly being adding to the amount of things that you have, constantly just creating things. So,
dude, and automatic bin labeling is so overlooked in survival games and so helpful.
It's not automatic, but every chest that you create has a text box on it by default. Okay,
cool.
So
that's cool.
That's what I meant. Cool.
Oh, I thought you meant like when you put an item into it, it automatically labels what it is.
Oh no. It just has something you can type on there.
Yeah.
Like coal, rocks, wood.
Yep. Yeah, I love that happened the first time where it's like, I wonder if you can label these chests, and everyone is like, does he not see the giant like text box in the bottom left of every chest? So yeah. Anyways, it's good. I did a stream of it. I will probably jump back into it and push the number higher, but it goes to like the millions, if not billions. So I want to see the different like tech trees in it. So that's Planet Crafter, launched in 1.0. And
with something like this, like there's no like lore or anything, right? There's no like,
it's very loose.
No ancient civilizations that you can uncover, like Subnautica or like what else?
There is a little bit of that, but it's not like, I don't think it's as heavy as Subnautica. Yeah, it might be a little spoilery. There are things that as the planet evolves.
There is. Good. I love it. Okay, that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Okay.
For example,
you lost me on no enemies, but you gained me back with like oxygen and
for example,
some secrets.
There are walls of ice, and as the planet heats up, the ice melts, and then you unlock new ways to go about things on the planet. Right?
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm back in. How much is it? Let me see.
It's like $20 or something, $30.
Yep, on sale, $16.79 right now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Good. We didn't talk Manor Lords. Manor Lords is fun. I had a really good time with that. We could talk about it next week. How
much did you play it?
Let's see what Steam says. 9.3 hours. 10 hours.
Oh, wow.
And I kind of saw the whole tech tree, but I didn't win the map, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun.
When you've done that, when you've kind of gone through the whole tech tree, you're pretty much done for now?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's early access? Question mark? I think it launches later this week on early access on the 25th, same day as Stellar Blade. Yeah. And I have to give credit where credit is due. Then we could do shoutouts. They gave me one of the coolest press gifts that I've received for a game. I will just grab it rather than describe it because it's easier to do that.
Okay. I'm excited.
I'm so excited right now.
Medieval helmet.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I thought
no way.
Didn't Gassy get one of those or something?
Oh man.
Yeah, it looks dope. It looks badass.
That is awesome.
It's pretty awesome. And
does it fit?
Yeah, it fits. Not only does it fit, it also they didn't send the same helmet to every influencer. Each influencer got different style of helmets, and I was trying to tell chat to be like, guys, it's really cool when you get stuff from press and companies, but it's even cooler when everyone gets a slightly different one. And they're like, that you just sounds like that's like the biggest first world issue. It's like, yeah, but it's cool when someone gets a giant like peacock cuckoo helmet thing, and then you get like one with chainmail, and someone else gets one that's just like not like any of them. There's something cool about that. I had to explain it, and I did a terrible job doing it, both then and now.
Is that hooded horse?
Yes. Yeah. It's old hooded horse. Yeah. What are you realizing you missed an email, or what is that?
No. I there were some packages that were misplaced that I heard about last night, and I think that might have been one of them. And I have to.
You might have to investigate. Yeah,
I have to investigate that a little bit.
Yeah. Dude, I was not. I was like, oh, cool. It's a press package. What is this? I open it up and it's a giant medieval fucking helmet with real leather that's been like oiled up so it doesn't rust. I'm just like, oh shit. I guess I'll keep that for a while. Anyways, we got to do shout outs because Zeke needs to get out of here and do a show. Like always. Yep. Zeke, please start us off.
Will do. What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at /Ezekiel _I on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. X and YouTube. Fuck it. Still Twitter.
It's still Twitter.
Ezekiel the Third, all spelled out on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you to Cohh and JP for being wonderful co-hosts every week. Thank you guys for joining us. I will be live not live on my channel, but I will be on twitch.tv/Table Story for the last Blade Runner thing. We wrapped up the show last week, and this is just going to be our round table where we talk about the show and our characters and the plots and all that kind of stuff and answer your questions and whatnot. So we're just going to have a nice wrap up discussion about the Blade Runner TTRPG that we did over the past few months. So if you want to join us, thank you. I will be back Mondays. I take off. Tuesdays I will be streaming again 10 a.m. Pacific, the final week of the 10th anniversary month of me quitting my job and doing Twitch full time. And we got some fun stuff, I think, planned. I know we're going to do a Dark Souls 3 randomizer. We got Bashi. We got a bunch of stuff that I haven't actually planned yet. So just, if you want to come on out. Thanks for watching.
There you go. Might I suggest Elden Ring randomizer and not Dark Souls?
Rather than Dark Souls 3?
Yeah.
Might be too big.
What do you mean? I've played it. It's great. What do you mean?
No, the game might be too big. The game itself is huge.
Oh, you're saying you're doing a full playthrough?
Well, maybe. I mean, I want to get as far as I can.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. Cohh, shoutouts.
Yes. As always, thank you to JP and Zeke for another phenomenal week. My name is Cohh. Hello. I'm going to be playing more No Rest for the Wicked, probably some Rise of the Ronin. I think I'm checking out the Dead Island 2 DLC tomorrow. We got some other stuff coming up this week as well. And man, just lots of more Rebirth, more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, more Yakuza. More Yakuza. I still have other games I want to finish. There's so many games, and it's so wonderful. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. And if I don't see you on my channel, I will see you next week. I'll be back on tonight on Cohh at 6:30 with a rerun of the daily rerun, and then tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. ET with more live No Rest for the Wicked. Bye-bye.
You skipping Stellar Blade? You gonna play it?
I want to.
Yeah. Okay.
Dang it, man. I mean, I'd be playing it if No Rest wasn't probably having its class. It came out, right? The 18th?
No. It comes out on Thursday, the 25th. Or wait. Friday the 26th, maybe. But I would assume that there's some sort of early access since it's PlayStation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't heard about it. Okay.
Okay. I would suspect
I'm definitely planning on playing Stellar Blade.
Okay.
Yes. But I have a lot of other stuff I'm doing as well.
Cool. Yeah, that's kind of my next big thing is Stellar Blade. But I'm also moving, so I'm doing all that. I'm packing things up slowly. There's no statues behind me at the moment. I've got all those packed up, and I gotta do the rest of the house. I started with the important stuff, and then I'm gonna do the rest of the house, and we'll get moved to Austin. So. Should be a show next week. I will let you guys know. That kind of hinges on me. And Les, Cohh, and Zeke. So I'll not only let chat know, but also let Cohh and Zeke as well for the show. So.
I would also like to know if you let chat know. So that's great.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it. Thanks everyone for watching Drop Frames. Have a good rest of your Sunday. We are out of here. See you next time. Bye-bye.